This young man is currently participating in a beginner's training exam with his group on the Demon Planet, where the task seems incredibly simple to survive on the Demon Planet for 5 minutes. If successful, he can automatically complete his class change, but facing this beastly human, it's likely he won't even survive a minute. Just 55 years ago, a massive celestial body known as the Demon Planet suddenly appeared very close to Earth. What's noteworthy is that the flora and fauna on Earth underwent sudden transformations into monsters after the Demon Planet appeared, referred to as beast gods, and began wreaking havoc all over the world. However, during this desperate time, survivors unexpectedly discovered numerous circles with teleportation functions appearing on Earth, and the first brave souls who ventured into the Demon Planet found that this planet seemed to be a surreal digital world where humanity could change classes into various professions. After changing classes, each person possessed data equipment and skills that could be upgraded simultaneously, gaining powerful attributes. Thus, a new concept emerged called explorers. This term refers to those who flock to the Demon Planet in search of this power, and the reality that Jiang Kai is currently experiencing is, as mentioned, the first beginner's training exam. For new explorers who have just changed classes, he is now the only survivor, but in front of him is an abyss, and Jiang Kai has no way out. Facing the beastly human slowly approaching, Jiang Kai feels completely lost, but he truly does not want to resign to his fate. Is he really supposed to just sit back and wait for the beastly human to take his life after struggling to reach the Demon Planet? No, he can't accept that. Instead of waiting here for the beastly human to come for him, Jiang Kai decides to take a risk for his family. To seize the only chance of survival, he made a very daring decision to jump into the abyss. As he fell, Jiang Kai saw the beastly human rushing towards the edge of the abyss. Staring at him intently, but unable to pursue any further, suddenly a panel appeared before him with a notification stating that his actions resembled those of a gambler. Congratulations! You have activated a 1 in a million chance to receive a hidden profession, and you have successfully changed your class. Congratulations, you have become a hidden profession of glory known as the gambler. After an unknown amount of time, Jiang Kai woke up at the edge of a forest, coughing a few times as he struggled to sit up. However, at that moment, Jiang Kai sensed something was off because despite falling from such a high cliff, he wasn't injured at all. Moreover, the wounds he previously sustained from the beastly human's weapon had completely healed. The system screen appeared again. The notification explained that because Jiang Kai had successfully changed classes in time, his basic attributes were refreshed, equivalent to being fully revived with full health. Therefore, he wasn't injured. In front of the screen, a beautiful girl with long, flowing white hair appeared. Jiang Kai seemed to recognize her. This person is the artificial intelligence coexisting with the Demon Planet, and she did not deny it. She then began to introduce Jiang Kai to the unique profession he had just awakened. The gambler's unique ability is called Double, which allows the system to reward or punish him. The rewards or penalties he receives will activate a doubling effect with a 1% chance of activating a super doubling effect. When this effect is activated, the rewards or penalties will increase tenfold. Since Jiang Kai activated the double ability and received this unique ability, he ended up with 2 unique abilities, meaning he would receive the second unique ability of the gambler. Jiang Kai was astonished. Normally, a class change only grants 1 unique ability. Yet he managed to unlock 2. What a divine blessing this is. The second innate ability that Jiang Kai received is called Super Critical Strike, which modifies his critical damage to be 200 times his original critical hit rate, set at 0.1%. After that, Jiang Kai's information window opened, showing that at level 1 he has 4 points in strength, 8 points in constitution, 12 points in agility, 12 points in mental strength, and no defense points. Jiang Kai gained another astonished fan. Normally, after a class change, the total attributes usually hover around 20 points, yet he reached 36 points. Because the double innate ability can double the usual attribute points after a class change, that girl explained. Jiang Kai's eyes lit up. If that's the case every time he levels up, a normal person would gain an additional 10 attribute points upon leveling up, while he would gain 20 points, meaning Jiang Kai leveling up is equivalent to others leveling up twice. This already equates to someone else leveling up 2 levels. Moreover, he also has the Super Critical Strike ability. A normal person's critical strike only deals double damage, but his is 200 times. Although his current critical hit rate is only 1%, if he can increase this rate later, his damage will be incredibly terrifying. Overall, Jiang Kai is very satisfied with the job he just received. It was indeed a gamble to escape from the Beast Man, and he ended up winning big. Speaking of which, Jiang Kai remembered something. Earlier, that monster had thrown a weapon at him, and that weapon had fallen with him into the abyss, now stuck at the bottom of the river beside him. Previously, he only thought about quickly changing classes to the Demon Spirit to earn money for his brother's kidney transplant, because in the Demon Spirit world, no matter how weak the job is, it's still easier to make money than on Earth. But unexpectedly, he accidentally became a powerful hidden profession like a gambler. Jiang Kai might be able to quickly earn money for his brother's treatment, so that his whole family can live in comfort. Thinking that he pulled out the spear that the beastman had stuck in the river, and at that moment Jiang Kai also received a new reminder after successfully changing classes. What he needs to do now is complete the beginner quest named Safe Journey to the Holy City within 7 days. Completing the class change is just the first step. Next, completing this beginner challenge is the biggest goal. Within 7 days, Jiang Kai must reach the final destination of the training area, the Holy City. But to succeed in reaching the destination, the challenges are stacked. First, he must pass through the monster-infested training area. If he gets taken down by them, it's considered a failure and he'll be teleported back to Earth. Although dying in the demon spirit world means 0 points equivalent to dying on Earth, moreover, the body is not harmed and can log back in, but logging back in comes at a high cost. It's only easy for the rich. After all, to teleport here, Jiang Kai has spent most of his fortune. The rich have countless opportunities to try again, but someone like him, who doesn't have a single coin in his pocket, must succeed in one go. There's absolutely no second chance, which is why Jiang Kai is extremely tense. Gripping his weapon tightly, he stepped forward, and then suddenly he heard a scream. The owner of that scream sounded very familiar. If Jiang Kai wasn't mistaken, he moved a little closer. Sure enough, he wasn't wrong. The one who was screaming madly was his good friend of many years named Yuan-Ju, who was currently surrounded by 6 snakes. And Yuan-Ju is most afraid of snakes, so his expression is quite understandable. Jiang Kai didn't rush in immediately because the 6 snakes have very strong venom. Getting bitten once means that whether human or beast, they would have to sell salt. Moreover, there are currently 3 of them. After careful consideration, Jiang Kai waited for the right moment to rush in. "Yuan-Ju, don't be afraid, I'm coming," Jiang Kai shouted loudly. And at that moment, Yuan-Ju turned his head back. He was surprised to find that he could meet his buddy right here. "Why are you here, Kai?" That was the only thing the pillar could think of at the moment, even though he was trying to tell Jiang Kai not to worry about him and just run away. Because it was really dangerous here. While the pillar was crying and sniffling, looking towards Jiang Kai, he was ambushed from behind by a level 6 snake. Luckily, Jiang Kai reacted quickly. He immediately threw the spear in his hand towards it. He hit the snake right in the head, pinning it firmly into the tree hollow behind it. It was truly a stunning move to eliminate the opponent. The pillar stared wide-eyed in shock, wondering if he was dreaming. He couldn't believe that his friend Kwok could easily take down a level 6 snake like that. In fact, Jiang Kai had planned everything. He used the pillar to attract the attention of the level 6 snakes, then circled around behind them to attack. This method was incredibly effective, as evidenced by the fact that he had already taken one down. But now he was being targeted by the remaining 2. Regardless, Jiang Kai still charged straight ahead, aiming to retrieve his weapon. The pillar was so scared that his heart felt like it was about to jump out. He thought this was really the end. The snakes were very agile, but Jiang Kai was no slouch either. Under the worried gaze of the pillar, he successfully dodged the attack from the 2 snakes. The poison left after Jiang Kai's class change had doubled his agility, making him as quick as a level 2, so those level 1 snakes couldn't keep up with him. That's why there was such a spectacular performance just now. If that's the case, defeating them was probably just a matter of time. Thinking that Jiang Kai told the pillar to continue drawing their attention, the pillar immediately obeyed, and at that moment, Jiang Kai had successfully retrieved his weapon. The 2 of them began to cooperate seamlessly, and soon after, all 3 level 6 snakes had been defeated. The pillar still felt that this was all unreal. He had only been assigned to distract the snakes. Meanwhile, Jiang Kai had easily taken them down. After resolving the danger, Jiang Kai let out a sigh of relief. Clearly, he had a class focused on agility and low strength, yet he could still take down a level 1 monster instantly. It seemed that the spear he picked up from that beast man was a great piece of equipment to boost his strength in this beginner area. Legend has it that newcomers can only be killed by monsters, so how did he manage to kill one Kai? The pillar suddenly approached from behind. Then he hugged Jiang Kai tightly because he was his best friend. Jiang Kai didn't want to hide anything and shared how he had been lucky enough to change to the hidden class of a gambler. So his attributes had exceeded even the level, but this was something he couldn't tell anyone. Jiang Kai cautiously reminded the pillar, who had a silly expression for a few seconds upon hearing the words gambler before quickly regaining his usual sprightly demeanor. Then he bragged to his friend, "Oh, even though I don't know what that class is, my class isn't useless either." His class was a warrior, a type of profession focused on strength. At level 1, the pillar had 8 points in physique, 8 points in strength, 5 points in agility, and 5 points in mental strength. Jiang Kai suddenly understood why the pillar could hold out for so long. In the face of the 3 snakes' attacks, the warrior class was one of the top 5 classes in the Holy Miracle Kingdom. No one knows how many classes exist in the demon realm, but all explorers who enter this planet. The first thing they experience is class change, and what they change to usually depends on what materials they buy for the class change before logging in. Usually those with money spend around 10 million to buy powerful transformation materials to directly turn into something at the crystal, transforming into top-tier professions. For example, martial artists like the warrior or the mage, while the poor can only afford the cheapest transformation materials, which lead to very weak transformations. Even if they transform into something it's all random, their chances are high only to unlock useless professions like drunkard or beggar. After hearing that the warrior had become a martial artist, Jiang Kai felt both happy and a bit worried, asking, "But just one transformation material for a martial artist costs 50 million already. You didn't borrow money at high interest, did you?" "Hey, of course not. It's a long story, I'll explain it to you later," the warrior replied, knowing that his friend wasn't in debt made Jiang Kai feel relieved. He then urged the warrior to quickly gather the 3 snake waxes because he heard these could also be sold for money. There are many things at the crystal that can be exchanged for cash. Jiang Kai also wanted to use this method to earn money to repay his family. The items obtained at the crystal, like monster corpses or equipment, turn into cards after dropping, which explorers collect and then sell. Moreover, considering the recent battle, it seems your gambler profession is even stronger than a martial artist, so Jiang Kai felt that his potential to earn money wasn't bad at all. Just as they finished collecting the snake corpses, suddenly someone appeared. The warrior instinctively ducked behind Jiang Kai, thinking it was another monster attack, but it turned out to be just a girl. At first glance, she seemed weak and harmless. "Hi, my name is To Know Unknown. It's really hard for me to get through this trial alone. May I join your team?" Even though she looked harmless and quite beautiful, Jiang Kai wasn't the type to be easily swayed by a girl. He knew that he was struggling to keep himself safe. Bringing along a girl like this would only add more burden to them, so Jiang Kai initially intended to refuse. Unexpectedly, To Know Unknown tried to persuade him by revealing that her profession was a doctor. Although she had no attack power, she could heal the team members. For example, if they encountered a venomous snake like the 6-horned snake, she could extract its venom to enhance their weapon's attack power. "Please don't abandon me." To Know Unknown's eyes were almost filled with tears. After hearing her, the warrior's eyes lit up with admiration at the thought of a girl who could both heal and poison. It really deserved some admiration, Jiang Kai thought carefully. Being a doctor was one of the top 10 advanced professions, and healing was indeed very necessary in the beginner's trial. For instance, when he fell into the abyss earlier, if he hadn't transformed in time to recover, he would have probably died right there. Therefore, in the end, Jiang Kai agreed to let To Know Unknown join their team. He briefly introduced himself and the warrior to her, and after finding a temporary safe spot, she seemed very emotional, continuously thanking them. "You're only doing this because you're a pervert, right?" "Isn't that right?" the warrior whispered to Jiang Kai, knowing that this guy was just teasing him. But he really wanted to give him a beating. At the same time, at the login base of Crystal Number 18, located in Jiangzhong City, Earth, in the data research room, Professor Lai was using a wristwatch to accurately determine the positions of the explorers at the crystal, excitedly noting that most of the watches were currently being sold on the market. Besides being able to search for various types of data from the stars, the watch has many rich functions. The more high-end it is, the more features it has. Professor Li is analyzing the situation of the new recruits. "How's my little sister doing?" A training instructor for the recruits suddenly entered the room. "That's me, Lam Lam, also Know Unknown's older sister." After checking, I responded according to the positioning of the training watch for newcomers. Right now, many recruits have already been eliminated. My sister Know Unknown, according to my recent search, has formed a team with 2 others. Lam Nam felt extremely anxious. Indeed, her sister was so timid that she sought others to rely on, even though she had repeatedly warned Know Unknown before. That newcomers shouldn't form teams because in the training for beginners, the larger the group, the greater the chance of attracting monsters. Just about 3 minutes later, Professor Li confirmed that what Lam Lam was worried about was accurate because beside Know Unknown and Jiang Kai, 2 other beast-faced individuals had just appeared. Upon hearing this, Lam Lam was so tense that her whole body trembled. Just one beast-faced person was enough to slaughter newcomers, and now there were 2. How could her sister have a chance of survival? Death on the demon planet. Although it only equates to our character dying in a game, doesn't physically harm the real body on Earth. But the experience of dying on the demon planet can cause a huge psychological shock to people. Many recruits returned completely insane. My Know Unknown is so timid. Lam Nam feared that she wouldn't be able to withstand this blow, so she was ready to bring her sister out for psychological counseling. However, just as Lam Lam turned to leave, Professor Li announced that her sister was still alive and well on the demon planet, and what shocked him even more was those 2 beast-faced individuals had been eliminated by their team. This information caused the entire research room to be in shock, not just Lam Lam. 3 minutes before, when those 2 monsters had just launched their attack on their team, initially their reaction was to run for their lives. Jiang Kai was no exception. However, he quickly realized that running wasn't a solution. The agility of the beast-faced individuals was far superior, and he would soon be caught by them. So, Jiang Kai decisively stopped to let the others and No One run ahead while he stayed back to block the monsters. This was indeed a big gamble. Jiang Kai wasn't sure he could take on those two beast-faced individuals, but if he didn't try, all three of them would be doomed. Thinking this, he bravely grabbed a long spear and charged straight at the opponent. Jiang Kai's thrust was incredibly precise. However, the strength and health of this monster were no joke. Jiang Kai couldn't finish it off in one blow and was instead grabbed and thrown hard against a nearby rock. He hadn't even caught his breath before facing attacks from the two beast-faced individuals. At this moment, Jiang Kai's body was in great pain and he truly couldn't move. He could only blink as he watched them closing in on him. Damn it, am I about to be killed? Is my beginner's training really going to end like this? Is my rookie training really just going to end like this? Not far away, the Pillar and No One witnessed this scene with their own eyes. Although No One was timid seeing Jiang Kai in danger, made her want to turn back and save him while the Pillar, despite being much stronger than her, was trembling all over. At the same time, in the residential area of Jiangtrong on Mother Earth, the Pillar was welcoming a mysterious guest who was the one who provided him with materials to change his class to a martial artist. While serving water to the guest, the Pillar's mother kept talking, not knowing why he valued her son so much. Although he looked tall and strong, he was actually very timid. If he were on the demon planet facing a monster, he certainly wouldn't even dare to fight. The man took the cup of tea from the Pillar's mother and replied calmly, "That's right, the Pillar's mother. When her son faced danger, he was even more afraid than an ordinary person, but I see that sometimes, no matter how scared he is, as long as he sees someone in need of help, he absolutely will not fear death and will rush forward." In fact, what this man said was proven true because the Pillar, witnessing his best friend being cornered, finally overcame his fear and charged forward, his large body blocking Jiang Kai's path. Although he was still trembling, he created an unexpectedly safe presence. "Kai, you're letting me stay behind because I'm timid and protecting me. We're brothers. We should stick together. If we're going to die, I'll die with you." As he spoke, the Pillar gathered all his strength and punched forward as if all his fear and panic were channeled into this punch. And it had an effect that even Jiang Kai couldn't have anticipated. The kid actually knocked down the beast-faced man with just one blow, even though the damage he dealt was very low. It seems this is the incredibly fierce control of the martial artist class right after that. Jiang Kai felt an incredibly comfortable sensation as if a warm current was flowing through him. And he realized that No One was healing him, which made him tense up immediately. No One, why are you back?" "You're not a combat class. This is very dangerous." Ignoring his words, No One still pressed on. Her profession was a doctor, and this did not allow her to abandon an injured patient even though she was indeed scared. Remembering that year, No One's father had fought hard and sacrificed himself because he had no medical support while battling the beast tide. She didn't want anyone to suffer that fate again. Now Jiang Kai was her teammate who also needed support, so how could she leave him behind and run away alone? With No One's full support, Jiang Kai's wounds healed rapidly, and he suddenly smiled helplessly when both teammates were people who didn't know how to fear death like this. However, even now, even if the three of them joined forces, the damage might still not be enough to finish off the beast-faced man. The Pillar was struggling to hold on while Jiang Kai was trying to think of a way to escape this predicament. Yet he actually came up with something. Jiang Kai suddenly remembered what No One had said when trying to convince them to join the team. Besides healing, she could use venom to enhance the attack power of weapons. Jiang Kai immediately asked No One, "You said before that you could extract snake venom, right?" "Yes," No One replied nervously. "So can you heal the Pillar while coating my weapon with venom?" Jiang Kai asked while taking out the corpse of a six-legged snake to give to No One. In fact, No One had never done these two things simultaneously, but for her teammates, she was willing to try at once. They had no other choice. If it really succeeded, the victory would be theirs now. Jiang Kai could no longer withstand the beast-faced man's attacks, but the Pillar's martial artist class was suitable for doing just that. If it actually succeeds, then the victory will belong to them now. Jiang Kai couldn't withstand the beast man's assault any longer, but the warrior's profession suited him well for this. And he's doing well, but your attack isn't strong enough to take down that monster. But there's no one who can handle it with poison from this angle. The three of them clearly formed the perfect combat team in the game, consisting of a tank, a healer, and a damage dealer. Not long after the process of extracting the poison was completed, Jiang Kai immediately grabbed his weapon, now infused with poison, and charged forward with determination. So what if a newbie is weak? He would break all stereotypes and lead his teammates through this trial. The Pillar restrained the beast man. Jiang Kai shouted loudly as the Pillar received the signal and immediately focused his strength to unleash a punch, similar to before stunning the beast man. For a few seconds, his punch was incredibly precise, and while the Beastman was dazed, Jiang Kai lunged forward, stabbing it hard with his poisoned weapon. Just like that, with perfect coordination, they truly succeeded. With the support of the pillar and no one knowing, Jiang Kai took down one Beastman while the other stood nearby, glaring at the three of them and howling. Under the gaze of the monster, the trio stood their ground. Their eyes were resolute, wanting to kill the remaining one, and a thought crossed their minds at that moment. Team 5 really did coordinate effectively. Even if another one showed up, the thought hadn't faded. Both the monster and Jiang Kai's trio charged in, signaling another fierce battle was about to erupt. The pillar restrained the monster while Jiang Kai attacked and no one healed. The battle raged on, and they all shouted, "We can defeat it perfectly!" Meanwhile, Professor Lee and To Lam Lam were both astonished by this. She was monitoring the screen while saying that the data from the wristwatch showed they had indeed killed 2 Beastmen, but just 1 Beastman could be devastating. How did this group of newbies manage to do that? Professor Lee was also sweating cold. He analyzed that according to the data from the watch, no one was incapable of killing, and her team had low-level skills with weak damage. Thus, the only one who could have killed the monsters must be the one in the team named Jiang Kai. But curiously, his profession couldn't be found in the observation room where a group of people stood. The large screen displayed images and information about Jiang Kai, name Jiang Kai, gender male, age 18, resident slum profession, demon hunter. To Lam Lam, hearing this, looked surprised and continued, "Can't find his profession, how is that possible?" Thoughts kept racing through her mind. To be able to kill 2 beastmen and still not have a traceable profession, what kind of character is this newbie? After defeating the 2 monsters, the system sent a notification to Jiang Kai player. Jiang Kai earned 2 X level 2 beastman kills. The 3 of them joyfully rested on the ground after the battle ended. No one spoke up. "We did it. We succeeded." The pillar laughed heartily, excitedly, saying, "I didn't expect Brother Kai to remain so calm and adaptable. That's so cool." No one sat up, her eyes filled with confidence as she continued. "Now we have the strength to face the beastmen. We can definitely reach the end of this trial safely." The pillar agreed with her sentiment, adding, "We can head straight to the finish line and end the trial." The 2 of them were animatedly discussing when Jiang Kai finally sat up slowly, saying, "No rush. We still have plenty of time to reach the final point." The words just ended, leaving Cho and no one both confused as they turned to look at him, wondering why. With a determined look, Jiang Kai expressed his thoughts, reassuring everyone that after overcoming the challenge, they would earn points that could rank them in the top 3 on the leaderboard. The military would reward them with equipment. Images of shiny, powerful gear began to appear in his mind as Jiang Kai mentioned that the military offers great rewards for equipment. This would greatly aid the development of newcomers in the game. He opened his system to check the monsters he had collected and said, "Now we have the strength to take down monsters. And defeating monsters could earn points. With enough points, there's hope for the leaderboard." He glanced at Cho and no one smirking as he delivered his closing line. "So why don't we go hunt monsters to earn points and then claim rewards from the military?" The 2 Cho and no one were a bit surprised, not expecting Jiang Kai to think this way. A few hours later, night had fallen, and the 3 of them, including Jiang Kai, still hadn't reached their destination, wandering in the forest searching for monsters. Cho seemed a bit impatient and spoke up, his tone slightly doubtful. "Kai, can this method of yours really earn points? Even though I'm not scared, you're making me attract so many monsters." Standing amidst a swarm of baby snakes, each with bloodshot eyes and tongues flicking out as if they could pounce on him at any moment, Cho's eyes were slightly teary, his voice trembling. "Is there a chance I might die first?" Jiang Kai, perched on a branch, looked down and replied, "Come on, Cho, be brave, you're a warrior. Your strength lies in your ability to attack and defend." Next to him, no one was also focused. Activating his healing ability, Jiang Kai continued, "Plus no one can heal us anytime." Suddenly, the snakes behind Cho lunged forward. Jiang Kai's voice rang out, "Wanna die!" He charged in, unleashing his strength to take down the snakes, continuing his sentence. It's not that easy. 3 snakes were taken down instantly, and the system displayed a notification. Defeated 3 level 1 snakes. Current experience 10 out of 100. Standing amidst the snakes, he gripped his weapon tightly. He thought to himself that the rule in the game was that only the one who kills could gain experience from the prey, and since he was currently the only one capable of defeating monsters, everyone decided to let him gain experience alone. As the snakes opened their mouths, revealing sharp fangs and long tongues rushing towards him, Jiang Kai dove into battle with the snakes. He unleashed all his strength, taking down each one, and his thoughts continued. "I need to level up first to strengthen my power and ensure the team's safety." A day later in the forest, Jiang Kai and his group finally eliminated all the snakes. Exhausted, Jiang Kai slumped to the ground as the system notification appeared. "Congratulations, Explorer. Jiang Kai experience reached 100 out of 100. Level up to level 2 and activate double attribute effect." After leveling up, he received double attribute points. Explorer Jiang Kai class Gambler level 2. Jiang Kai looked at his attribute display and said, "Awesome. After killing snakes all day, I finally reached level 2. Cho and Noan were happy for him, and Noan raised her hand looking at him with admiration as she said, "Jiang Kai, congratulations on leveling up." Cho also curiously asked, "Come on, tell us what your attributes are after leveling up." Jiang Kai happily replied, "I leveled up and gained 20 attribute points, bringing my total attributes at level 2 to 56 points. That's pretty good." Cho and Noan's eyes widened in shock upon hearing this. It felt like a thunderbolt. Cho had to ask again, "How many?" His eyes were wide as he opened his attribute display to look at his Explorer stats. Cho Class Warrior Level 1 exclaimed, "Oh my god, I thought leveling up could only increase physical strength, agility, and mental power like a normal person. Leveling up only adds 10 attribute points, but you got 20 points. My total attributes are only 26 points." Noan also opened her attribute display to check. Explorer to Noan Class Doctor Level 1. Furthermore, she spoke up, "My total attributes at level 2 are 56 points. It seems like I can match a level 4. That's an incredible strength. To Noan's total attributes are 12 points. Jiang Kai, hearing the two's questions, explained to them, "It's nothing special, just the characteristics of our classes. My class can double the rewards for leveling up, but the penalties can also double. Everyone remember to keep this a secret from me." Noan walked over to Jiang Kai, clapping her hands and saying, even though she didn't understand, she felt the class was really powerful. The guy also chimed in, saying it was even cooler than my fighter class. Suddenly, Brain appeared while the three were talking. She told Jiang Kai that players who level up to level 2 would receive a class skill, but because of the gambler's double activation, you will receive 2. Jiang Kai was a bit surprised and replied that the skill gained at level 2 could also be multiplied, so now I have 2 class skills. Vian Tru and Noan looked even more surprised. Vian Tru exclaimed that his skill could also be multiplied, which was too powerful. Brain continued speaking. "That's right. The first class skill is Demon Dealer. This skill shows an arm holding a card raised up with a note accompanying the class. Demon Dealer, when throwing items, will have a 20% piercing effect. When throwing card-type items except for item cards, the piercing effect increases to 200%, but the mental power consumption increases by 100%. The skill can be upgraded. The second class skill is Demon Eye Focus. The class is depicted as an eye with 2 red dots. Demon Eye Focus increases vision and tracking ability by 50%. But the mental consumption increases by 100%. The skill can be upgraded. Jiang Kai looked at the display screen and said these are 2 ranged skills, even though he still didn't understand how to use them. "But it seems like the Gambler is a pretty suitable class for me," Jiang Kai continued. "Now I'm stronger. We can go hunt for higher level monsters." Noan squinted and smiled, nodding her head. Vian Tru stood behind with his hands on his hips, slightly complaining about this kid showing off. Scene change. 2 days later, in the observation room in front of the large screen, To Lam was standing there observing. Professor Lai walked over to her and spoke up. "To Jiao Quan, it's been 2 days. I didn't expect your sister to still be alive." Lam shot him a cold glance and replied, "Is that so?" She smiled wryly and continued, "The rookie team can still survive. It seems that guy Jiang Kai has some strength." Just then, they were interrupted by hurried footsteps entering. It turned out to be Officer Lam. He pointed and shouted, "Comrades in charge of the rookie training, pay attention. The rookie training is about to face danger. Please be on alert immediately." The people standing around turned to look at him, their faces clearly showing concern. Officer Lam continued, "We discovered that this time the enemy has sent people to cross the border and infiltrate our rookie area. Moreover, it's a large-scale infiltration, which is rare." After he finished speaking, he saw a man walk in and immediately stood at attention to salute. The man entered and addressed everyone. It turned out that the man who had just entered was the highest commander of the central area, Jiang Trung Wei-ung. He paused for a moment and continued, "We must quickly prepare to respond." To Lam couldn't believe her ears. She nervously asked, "A large-scale foreign infiltration really?" Wei-ung sighed and replied, "If it were fake, I wouldn't be here." To Lam's face turned pale. In her mind, she thought, "Oh no, the infiltrators from Country L are a group that specializes in killing rookies from other countries. They aim to prevent the special classes of those countries from developing." Scene changed to the training area where people near the fence shouted encouragement to a rookie who responded to them. "We will do our best." The rookie finished speaking and the notification bubbles appeared because the rules of the rookie training stated that high-level players cannot enter the rookie training area. To help the newcomers, therefore. Newcomers can only rely on themselves to get through the training, but the infiltrators from Country L are not like that. They can rely on the characteristics of their infiltrating class to enter the rookie areas of other countries, and the other countries cannot resist. Moreover, they use brutal tactics to hunt and kill people from other countries, causing them to experience terrifying death memories. At this moment, a rookie named Tron Hai was captured by the infiltrators. He was held at knife point, crying and pleading, "Please don't hurt me!" But it was all in vain, only the sound of his desperate screams remained. Their goal is to terrify the rookies, to instill fear of logging into the game, significantly reducing the number of new players from other countries. After Tron Hai was brought back, his mind was no longer clear, always holding his head in fear, saying, "Don't kill me. I don't want to go either." Lam Lam clenched her fists and slammed them down on the table, her voice loud and annoying. She gritted her teeth, her face full of anger, continuing, "No one known's tolerance is just so low. Once we encounter those beasts." Wei-Young sighed and said to her, "Get ready for psychological counseling for the newcomers. A large-scale invasion from them has already happened. So for this rookie trial, we need to prepare in advance. No one will survive." The three of them, Jiang Kai, were walking together in the forest when suddenly Jiang Kai turned his head, his eyes full of vigilance, and spoke up, "Over there." The master noticed his reaction and asked, "What's wrong?" Jiang Kai's gaze was cold as he looked in that direction. He held a metal rod in his hand, ready to throw it over there to check if there was anything. Vian Tru and Noan felt nothing. Vian Tru said, "Kai, what are you doing?" "We just passed by there," Noan pointed out. "Clearly there's nothing." At that moment, Jiang Kai was using his demon eyes, his eyes shining. He continued, "No, it's further away." With his demon eyes activated, he gathered strength and hurled his iron rod into the distance. The iron rod he threw had considerable destructive power, flying quickly and piercing through several layers of forest. Suddenly, there was a noise coming from afar, and Jiang Kai realized something. He quickly ran toward that sound, not forgetting to say, "Got it. Let's go check it out." The two, Vian Tru and Noan, stood watching him run off. They didn't understand what was going on. Vian Tru voiced his doubts. "Clearly there's nothing to hit. Is Jiang Kai possessed by a ghost or something?" In the forest on the other side, the bright moonlight shone down, illuminating the iron rod that Jiang Kai had thrown. It had pierced through a wild boar. When Jiang Kai and the others arrived, they saw the scene before them, and a notification from the system appeared. Explorer Jiang Kai has killed a wild beast. Level 2. Current experience value 199 out of 200. Vian Tru saw the system notification and could only exclaim, "Wow, Kai, how did you shoot that wild boar from so far away?" He also saw Noan covering her mouth in disbelief, and moreover, she could kill a level 2 wild boar. Jiang Kai approached the beast. He held the iron tube with both hands and pulled it out. As he did, he said, "There's nothing to be surprised about. It's all thanks to my new skill." Another notification from the system appeared before Jiang Kai. "Do you want to collect the corpse of the wild boar, yes or no?" Jiang Kai quickly raised his hand and selected yes. He opened his system to look at the cards he had collected. In his mind, he thought that his demon card skill had increased the damage of his bullets. His top 2 cards at that moment were Demon Card Thrower and Demon Eyes Concentration, which was like doubling the effect of a telescope, making his attack range further. The more precise he could be, he continued to look at the cards he had just collected. He thought that he could now assassinate enemies from a distance without them detecting him, especially if they were of a lower level. Jiang Kai looked at Vian Tru and Noan and said, "All right, I just need a little more experience to level up to level 3. Let's go to the place where we killed monsters before." Hearing him, Noan nodded in agreement, while Vian Tru sighed, "I'm still at level 1. Transitioning to a stream under the night, the water flowed rapidly, and in the quiet night there was a sound. "Captain of Team 2, our luck isn't too bad." The three of them, Jiang Kai, were unaware of the danger lurking as they crossed this stream. There were whispers still echoing unexpectedly. They had just arrived and encountered a breakfast feast. Something was rising above the water, making a sound. Suddenly, a group of people appeared from the stream. There was a whisper echoing unexpectedly. Just as I arrived, I stumbled upon a breakfast feast in the stream with something rising above the water, speaking. Now a group of people appeared from the creek. "Their leader is that guy. He said we have new toys now." Jiang Kai turned around alert, standing in front of Noan, loudly asking who they were. The guy slowly drew his knife from behind and said, "Don't be scared, little buddy, we're not bad people." He and his companions looked at the three of them, Jiang Kai. With a savage smile, his voice filled with madness, he said, "We just want to rip open your chests, hang them up and let your blood dry, or use you as bait for some beasts. Let you die slowly." After saying that, they laughed loudly and slowly surrounded the three of them, Jiang Kai. One of them appeared from the water, just lifting his head, holding up his hat. In short, this time there was only one target. Jiang Kai looked at him with a mix of horror and curiosity, glancing at the guy who appeared wearing a mask with a sharp beak. His eyes lit up. He was the Crowbeak, the captain of the second smuggling team. He stepped onto the shore and continued, "We just want to deal with the new folks from the Holy Miracle. You all have no way out. Let's see how you fare in the trial." No one, her eyes full of fear, recognized these people and spoke up. "Kai, these guys. I know them. They seem to be the smugglers who specialize in killing newcomers." Both Jiang Kai and Vien Tru turned to look at her in horror. Vien Tru shouted, "What?" No one opened her watch, and images of the smugglers appeared. "I can even check their ranks. They're all level 3 or higher, and the highest rank even goes up to level 5. Thinking about this high-ranking group, her mind went blank. Jiang Kai clenched his teeth, his gaze sharp, thinking to himself, there are too many of them. And there's even a level 5 explorer. With my total attributes, I can handle level 4, but level 5. Just then, his thoughts were interrupted by a voice from Crowbeak, his eyes filled with killing intent, saying, "Brothers, let's get started." Jiang Kai's thoughts continued, how annoying I can only do this. Jiang Kai turned and ran, reminding Tru-Tu and No-one. "Tru-Tu, No-one, you two split up from us for now." Hearing this, Tru-Tu and No-one ran while responding, "What understood?" Crowbeak and his teammates saw this and just smirked. Crowbeak mocked, "This is a blessing to share, but a disaster to bear alone. Is this how the Holy Miracle people are?" His eyes turned red, then he ordered his subordinates. "Two of you rush in and kill the one who's running alone. The other two can stay to torture the rest of our large group." Slowly, his two subordinates replied in unison, "Understood." These two, the Rang Kua and Shich Nan, had both reached level 3. After saying that, they chased after Jiang Kai. The chase began as the two Shich Nan and Rang Kua followed Jiang Kai from one forest to another, with Shich Nan laughing, "That little brat runs really fast." Rang Kua replied, "But he'll be caught soon." Suddenly, Jiang Kai disappeared from their sight. In an instant, Jiang Kai was nowhere to be seen, and Rang Kua widened his eyes in surprise. The two had no choice but to stop and carefully observe everything around them. Rang Kua and Shich Nan backed up against each other, each looking in a different direction. Rang Kua spoke up. "Hey kid, are you trying to play hide-and-seek with us?" Shich Nan chimed in. "We're excited to find you first. We'll break both your legs." Suddenly, a metal pipe shot out from nowhere at high speed. Shich Nan drew his sword, his voice full of excitement. "This kid wants to fight back, but we don't need to pay attention to the attacks of the newbies." Just as he finished speaking, a beam of light shot towards Shich Nan, who didn't have time to react before being sent flying away. Rang Kua witnessed his teammate being thrown 100 meters away. Suddenly, Jiang Kai's metal tube shot out at high speed, and with excitement in his voice, he drew his sword, asking if this kid wanted to resist. But I didn't need to pay any attention to the new recruit's attacks. As the light beam shot forward, the kid was thrown far away before he could do anything, witnessing his teammate being flung hundreds of meters away. Still not understanding what was happening, he spoke up asking, "Why did you fly away? Is something wrong?" But when he looked back, he could only widen his eyes, his pupils shrinking as he saw the red-eyed guy slumped under the tree, his arms hanging limply pierced by a metal pipe, dead. How could this be? Jiang Kai stepped out from the forest, chuckling softly. "A one-hit kill, is this a fake ambush?" Jiang Kai's gaze was filled with determination, and in his hand he held 3 feathers he had collected after killing the wild boar earlier. He spoke, "Seems like you're not as strong as I thought, huh? I need to check my watch. Are you a newbie from the Holy Miracle?" "How could you kill that level 3 guy?" He looked at Jiang Kai's information on the display, accompanied by a warning about the unclear critical hit rate. At that moment, Jiang Kai was shaking all over, pointing at him. "What, I'm level 3 with only 45 attribute points, and this newbie has 60 points. How is that possible?" Jiang Kai replied. "Why wouldn't I be able to?" Before Jiang Kai could finish his sentence, he charged in to attack Jiang Kua, catching him off guard. It was too fast. Jiang Kua was already kneeling before Jiang Kai, groaning incoherently. Seeing both of them had been taken down, Jiang Kai stood still, contemplating for a moment. Success. My total attributes are equivalent to level 4, so of course I can take out a level 3. I was just running to separate their strength for an easier attack. Now I'm just a little short of reaching level 3. Also, based on my previous knowledge on Earth, as long as I kill an explorer, I can... He hadn't finished his thought yet. "Hey, Brain," a voice interrupted. "You have successfully eliminated the explorer. You can take the watch from the killed one before their body disappears. You have confirmed the experience gained from killing 2 level 3 explorers, each worth 100 points. Whatever you take, those others will lose double." Hearing this, Jiang Kai's face lit up with excitement. "So I can indeed steal experience. Moreover, the experience from killing explorers is way more than from monsters. So I'll only take 100 points from each." "Hey, Brain," it confirmed and then disappeared. The system notification appeared congratulating him for leveling up to level 3. Jiang Kai excitedly looked at his information panel. "Finally, I'm level 3. On the display, the explorer Jiang Kai Profession Gambler level 3 walked over to the red-eyed guy and Jiang Kua bending down to take their watches. He mumbled to himself, now my total attributes are 76 points. And level 5 only has about 60 points. With the metal pipe in hand, Jiang Kai's gaze was resolute as he walked, saying, now I have enough strength to go back and save the others. Meanwhile, Yuan Zhu and Nuan were not doing well. Yuan Zhu was injured, blood continuously flowing down from his arm while Nuan's clothes were in tatters. Hansa, one of the pursuers, saw the two in such a state. He spoke up, a fighter and a nurse, who would have thought I'd run into two top-tier holy miracle professionals. Laman stood beside him laughing, adding, what a delicious profession. Another guy holding his sword looked at Nuan, treating Yuan Zhu, and smirked. Take your time with them. Nuan, while treating Yuan Zhu, had tears welling up in her eyes, asking, Yuan Zhu, is it true that Kai was ambushed and can't come back? Yuan Zhu gritted his teeth, enduring the pain, and replied, he definitely can. Normally, he was quite the ladies' man, but in battle, a gaze from the forest was watching the group of pursuers. Yuan Zhu looked at the intruders surrounding them. In his mind, he thought, but if my friends or family are in danger, no matter how desperate it gets. He then interrupted Yuan Zhu's thoughts. Those guys are getting bored of their games. This time, let's skin them alive and let Han answer him. The pillar's thoughts continued as he thought about Jiang Kai. He would definitely appear unexpectedly. Jiang Kai burst out of the forest like a gust of wind. Blue lightning crackled around him as he shot something towards the group of intruders. Two of the intruders moved closer, intending to deal with the pillar and Nuan. They were struck by something that pierced through their heads before they could react. Nuan saw the scene before her and recognized what had just pierced through the heads of the two intruders. This is a surprise. The pillar smiled and said, I knew he would come back. The crow was also a bit shocked by this scene. He spoke up, who's there? Did someone sneak back just now? If you have the guts, come face me. In the middle of the large forest, the crow turned around to search, but found no movement or shadow. He could only stand still, feeling a bit scared, his pupils dilating as he thought, I can't see anything at all. He basically had no idea where he was. Could it be that the Holy Wine has a new job for the new players just entering? If not, he unconsciously turned and ran away. The pillar and Nuan were stunned by the crow's actions. Nuan instinctively exclaimed, the captain is running away. From the dark night, a figure appeared. It was Jiang Kai holding a metal pipe. You want to run after tormenting my brothers? His eyes were filled with anger as he said, leave your life behind. Jiang Kai hurled the metal pipe at the crow. Jiang Kai's pipe pierced straight through him, causing an explosion. The crow barely had time to scream before collapsing to the ground, smoke billowing everywhere. The bodies of the intruders lay scattered on the ground. Jiang Kai staggered out from the forest approaching while asking Nuan, have these bandits been dealt with? Nuan, are you okay? Nuan looked at him, her eyes brimming with tears. You finally came back. She moved to throw herself into Jiang Kai's arms, her voice trembling. But he's seriously injured. I can't treat him anymore. The pillar lay motionless on the ground. His body was covered in wounds, blood flowing down in streams. He opened his eyes to look at Jiang Kai and said, Kai, I knew you would come back, but this time, I might not see you all again. With those words, he fell, whispering 3 words, go ahead. The pillar lay on the ground. Nuan sat beside him. The pillar trembled, pointing at Jiang Kai with a weak voice. Kai, Nuan. Taking risks with you two is the best memory I have. You both have to carry on my part. His eyes slowly closed as he struggled to say, you have to try to get through that trial. Hearing him say that, Nuan burst into tears, calling out Pillar. Brother Jiang Kai stood before him, looking down, his fists clenched, calling out Pillar. Suddenly, he threw an intruder onto the pillar. What are you mumbling about here? Nuan, sitting beside him, was startled and stopped crying. The intruder pressed against the pillar, groaned in pain. Who's dying here? He looked in confusion at the still-living figure before him. Jiang Kai explained, I meant to drag 6 of them along. I only injured them. You two can kill them to gain experience and level up. That way your health will be fully restored. After hearing Jiang Kai, Nuan nodded, realizing that in the demon realm one could gain experience by killing adventurers. The pillar, not expecting this, asked, is that really possible? Am I being exploited right now? And what's this? Am I being bullied right now? Jiang Kai spoke half-heartedly and then stopped. Then I realized he was smiling with squinty eyes and quickly changed the subject. Wasn't he just being tormented by them? Well, now we can torment them back. We can even use our left hand to finish them off. Vien Tru and Noan, after hearing this, both laughed wickedly in unison. Let them know what the cycle of karma feels like, as one of them struggled on the ground. Vien Tru, with a gleeful laugh, said, Kai, oh, this isn't good at all. The 3 of them, Jiang Kai, Vien Tru, and Noan, exchanged sly glances at the one on the ground. Jiang Kai laughed loudly. Not good at St. Hui, we call this a return gift. This is a beautiful tradition that we must uphold, Vien Tru said, gesturing towards the intruder. If it's a beautiful tradition, then I must uphold it seriously. He sat up, shouting, "You evil demons don't come any closer." Scene change at this moment. The research on the data at the Management Bureau of the fake players was interrupted by continuous alarms with people screaming loudly in the terror room. It's so scary. A group of people woke up, their spirits unstable, screaming non-stop. Lam An held his head in fear. Just now at St. Hui, someone came and wiped us all out. He was too ruthless with us. Han Sat woke up, sweat dripping from his forehead, shouting, "My experience points were stolen. My level has dropped." In the observation room, two men were standing watching the screen. One was Huang Kai, a high-ranking leader of the Lo Kwak who couldn't believe his eyes at this scene. He spoke up. "What is going on? How did you all end up like this? Could it be that a new class has appeared at St. Hui that can counter the fake players?" At the same time, in the observation room at St. Hui Kwak, Professor Lai, holding a tablet, hurriedly said, "Not good just now. The evaluation data from Noan's watch came in. Noan's team must have encountered the fake players." To Lam, hearing him say this, was extremely worried for her sister. "Is Noan okay?" Wei Ung was also there. He held a glass of water in his hand, nodded calmly, and said, "So far, no new player has been able to escape from the fake players. Just prepare for their deaths." Professor Lai, hearing him say that, explained, "No, that's not what I meant." He looked at the data on the large screen and continued. "What I mean is, according to the displayed data, Noan and the others did encounter the fake players but didn't die. Moreover, they leveled up." To Lam and Wei Ung were wide-eyed in shock. Lam, what are you talking about?" Wei Ung frowned. "Huh, how is that possible? They encountered them and didn't die but leveled up. Could it be that they helped her kill monsters?" Professor Lai reviewed the data on the tablet again, confirming before speaking. "If Noan leveled up by 1 level, I could reluctantly believe it was because she killed some monsters. But according to the displayed data, she leveled up by 2 levels. Everyone didn't realize this. There's only one possibility," both Viung and Talam exclaimed in astonishment. "Noan! Damn, they killed those fake hunters." The cup of water in the commander's hand fell to the ground, spilling out as Lam called out to him, "Hey, Commander!" Wei Ying stood up and shouted, "Quick, show me the data on Team Noan right now." Professor Li responded, "Yes, sir." He quickly opened the data on his tablet, showing the commander the information about the trio Jiang Kai Noan, and the third member appeared on the large screen. Identity Jiang Kai, rank unknown, occupation unknown. Identity to Noan, rank 3, occupation doctor. Identity Vian Tru, rank 3, occupation martial artist. Wei Ying smiled with joy, so she really leveled up to rank 3. If it weren't for killing those fake hunters, there's no way she could have leveled up 2 ranks in such a short time. To Lam still couldn't believe it, her voice filled with doubt. This can't be true. Noan is a non-combat occupation. The damage output of a martial artist in the early stages isn't high. Could it be that those fake hunters were all defeated by Jiang Kai? That's just ridiculous. Wei Ying laughed heartily. "I'm sure it was Jiang Kai, but why is his occupation still unconfirmed? What is going on here?" Professor Li looked at the tablet in his hand and speculated. "I found some news about Jiang Kai. The reason is unknown. Every explorer must carry a watch to update information when they enter the demon realm. But Jiang Kai is using the oldest Generation 1 watch," Professor Li continued. He projected an image of the watch for everyone to see. The first generation watch was the very first one used in the demon realm. He analyzed further. But the server for the first generation watch stopped functioning over 15 years ago, making it very difficult to connect to the network. That's why we can't access his information. To Lam couldn't believe it. What era are we in? And someone is still using that kind of first generation watch. Wei Ying chimed in, "That's quite interesting." To Lam insisted, "Professor Li, hurry up and bring me all the documents on Jiang Kai. I want to find out what kind of character that kid is." He received the order and replied, "Understood." Turning back to the group, Jiang Kai looked at his information board, and he was extremely excited, saying, "Wow, I didn't expect to really level up and revive with full health." Noan also opened her information board, so happy that she unconsciously clenched her fists. "I can't believe I also leveled up." She examined her new skills and cheered like a child. "Moreover, I have a new occupational skill, Ground Smash. Now I can knock back enemies around me. It's really powerful." The skill activated Ground Smash. Noan touched her notification screen. "The Heart of the Doctor skill has been unlocked," she said joyfully. "I've also activated the Heart of the Doctor skill. My healing ability is stronger now." Jiang Kai saw how happy they were. He put his hand on his chin, thinking, then said, "No wonder the skills of a warrior and a doctor are so practical." Vian Tru stepped in front of Jiang Kai, teasingly saying, "Jiang Kai, tell me I'm now 1 rank higher than you. I can take down border jumpers like you now." Hearing his master say that, Jiang Kai opened his information board for them to see, thinking to himself, "You think being rank 3 means you can take down border jumpers? I'm already rank 4 now. Jiang Kai opened his information panel for them to see, thinking to himself, did he really think being level 3 was enough to take on a border jumper? I'm level 4 now. Check out my attributes. After seeing the information board about Jiang Kai, the guy looked like his eyes were about to pop out, mouth agape, as he exclaimed loudly. The guy threw his hands up to his head, his expression as if everything was completely insane. When did you level up to level 4? Weren't you just level 2 a moment ago? Noen's eyes sparkled with admiration as she added, moreover, your total attribute points are 96, which is equivalent to an explorer at level 8. Jiang Kai looked at them calmly and replied, earlier when I was running away, I killed 1 border crosser, and then I got here and killed 5 more, so that's how I leveled up to level 4. The guy's face was filled with disbelief and frustration upon hearing this. Why are you even more flashy than I am? I can't take it anymore. Noen stepped in front of Jiang Kai and asked, so what's our next move? He looked at her and said, next. He paused for a moment before making a decision. Earlier I heard that captains say they are the 2nd border crossing team, so what's next? Are we just going to kill the 1st team? As soon as he finished speaking, both the guy and Noen were in shock, exclaiming in unison, what? Half a day later, somewhere in the forest of the newbie zone, a group of people was pacing back and forth in the woods, and someone's loud laughter echoed, what a joke. In the forest, a group of somewhat savage-looking people were talking, and one who was clinging to a branch spoke up. The 2nd team got wiped out by those newcomers. They wouldn't even dare to dream about it. The guy standing below with spiky hair and sharp teeth chimed in, exactly, let's just retire them. This guy's name was Jian An, a member of the 1st border crossing team at level 5, a tall man with a tattoo on his arm and a scar on his cheek. He reminded everyone not to be careless if the higher-ups had mentioned this. We should also be cautious. His name is Thiet Ba, the captain of the 1st border crossing team at level 5 inches. One guy said, his tone laced with disdain. Cautious about what the newbie zone is only level 5 and our entire team is level 5 here. If we meet a god, we kill a god. If we meet a Buddha, we kill a Buddha. Another guy chimed in agreeing. Meanwhile, Jiang Kai's trio was hiding in the shadows observing this group. The guy squatted on the ground watching them leave. His voice was slightly hesitant as he said, no way, Kai, are you really sure you want to take on 9 level 5 border crossers? Noen was also scared and spoke up to dissuade him. How about we just leave? Jiang Kai was still hiding behind a tree, keeping an eye on the group. He softly reassured them, don't be afraid. With my current strength, even if I don't know for sure, protecting you while retreating won't be a problem. Besides, we won't kill them. They will come at us with their new recruits. As soon as he finished speaking, Jiang Kai charged out, gripping his metal pipe tightly. As he ran, he said, so instead of being on the defensive, we should strike first! Before the two could react, they saw Kai rushing out and they shouted, hey, Thiet Ba! He turned to look back. His gaze was full of vigilance as he noticed someone rushing toward him. He clenched his fist, reminding his group to be careful. The newcomers also turned to look at Jian. He opened his watch to check Jiang Kai's information, smirking with satisfaction as he said, checked it out, he's just a level 4 newbie. The shadow standing next to him also cautiously spoke up. Level 4? Just getting here and surviving is already impressive. Who knows how he leveled up? He might be the one who wiped out the 2nd team. Hearing this, Thiet Ba grinned wickedly. Not bad, this is a big discovery. He immediately waved his hand, ordering everyone in the group. Everyone stay alert and pursue him. Capturing him is a great achievement. A bunch of crazed people charged forward, responding to him, yes. Jiang Kai ran ahead to lure them. He turned to look back, furrowing his brow in thought. This isn't good. The border crossers are keeping their formation. The plan was for me to lure the enemy first. Wait for the right moment to strike, using the ground to shake them off and take advantage of the openings to kill them all. But the formation of the border crossers is too long. If I can't break through in one go... Jiang Kai continued to run while thinking the intruders were still chasing behind him. As long as I leave a few border crossers behind, they might let them run away, but even so, we have a plan. Jiang Kai, you suddenly stop running thinking it over. It's just that if we want to wipe out all the border crossers, you slam on the brakes, turning around using one hand to push against the ground, channeling all your strength into the metal pipe you're holding up, charging straight at the group chasing you. Blue lightning envelops your entire body as you rush toward the border crossers. You make a bold decision, realizing you might need to use everything you have to lure them in. Jian An and Hak An leading the pursuers see Jiang Kai turning back toward them. The two stand still, unable to believe their eyes, wondering why this guy is turning around. As Jiang Kai approaches with the metal pipe only a few steps away, Jian An holding a knife lunges forward, laughing maniacally, saying, where do you think you're running, kid? Are you so scared you can't even run anymore? He swings the knife, slicing into Jiang Kai's arm, his face full of arrogance. Jiang Kai, feeling the pain, thinks, damn it, as blood sprays out immediately. Jiang Kai grits his teeth, enduring the pain, letting out a groan. In his mind, he thinks, not close enough yet, and turns to run again. You shout loudly, still running. Seeing that the border crossers seem to have gathered in one place, Jiang Kai thinks they've come together now. Hak An, holding a knife, speaks up, and Jiang Kai charges toward the group, thinking he still isn't close enough. You skillfully dodge every attack from the Hak An group. Thiet Ba, witnessing the scene, shouts, "What are you doing?" But it's too late for him. Jiang Kai is almost upon him, holding the metal pipe, charging toward Thiet Ba, who suddenly breaks into a sweat, thinking, how can these level 4 kids dodge all those attacks? Hak An finally checks his watch, then shouts, "Captain, something's wrong." He looks at the warning flashing on the screen and continues. Initially, the time was too short to check his attributes, but just now I used the advanced watch to check again. I found that although his overall attributes are unclear, I can now see his agility. Jiang Kai rushes toward him, enveloped in blue light, and his eyes shine as Hak An's voice echoes again. Almost within the 30-point range, Thiet Ba, hearing this, is utterly shocked. Stuttering, "What, 30 points in agility?" Jiang An, hearing this, turns around angrily and shouts, "You must be mistaken. My agility isn't even 20. If he's that much faster than me, how can I stop him?" Thiet Ba is stunned, raising his hands to defend himself as he watches Jiang Kai pass one person, then another. He thinks, this isn't right. The watch is hard to read. If that kid is really that agile, then isn't he just pretending to be chased by us? Thiet Ba realizes he's been tricked and shouts loudly, "No, we've fallen into a trap, quickly scatter." The people under his command stand there stunned. One of them speaks up, "What?" Jiang Kai stands among the border crossers, his eyes shining. He sneers and says, "You fools finally figured it out. But now your formation has been tricked into a cluster." Just as he begins to speak, a flash of golden lightning appears above their heads. Jiang Kai continues, "It's too late now. It's the pillar. You dive down from above, the group is gathering, and the golden light wraps around your body as you unleash a ground-shattering attack. Immediately, a massive explosion occurs, sending the border crossers flying. They can only scream in shock as Jiang Kai sees this and smirks. "Well done, Master." Next, Jiang Kai unleashes arcs of green lightning holding short rods like those used to take down the second team of border crossers. Jiang Kai charges forward after the pillar's attack, running while saying, "Leave it to me." Just as he finishes speaking, the first team's border crossers lie sprawled on the ground. Jiang Kai stops, and the light around him gradually fades. He exhales heavily, having wiped them all out in one go. Seeing this, he screams madly, "All 9 level 5 guys have been killed, Kai. You're too freakish." At this moment, the system sends a notification to Jiang Kai. Adventurer Jiang Kai has killed 5 level 5 poachers, gaining a total of 2000 experience points. Experience points top in the novice area, leveling up to the highest level 5. He looks at his information panel and smiles slightly, finally reached level 5. Deep down, I thought about killing a level 5 adventurer. The risk is higher, but the experience gained would be double what a level 5 adventurer could get, which is 400 experience points. Noan looked at Jiang Kai, unable to hold back her admiration, and exclaimed, "Wow, you're level 5 now. I heard that level 5 is the highest in the newbie village." Vien Tru chimed in, "Wow, you're at the top." Jiang Kai turned around and replied calmly, "It's nothing. Adventurers kill other adventurers for higher experience." He looked at the 4 survivors lying weakly on the ground and said, "I'll leave you 4 with the remaining health. You should finish them off and grab the experience." Upon hearing this, Noan immediately agreed. Vien Tru also spoke up, asking, "Kai, what are you going to do next?" Jiang Kai looked into the distance and said, "To enhance my combat power, I'll take out some monsters first to gain upgrade points." "I've already taken out enough. I'll lead you to hunt monsters and earn points. By the time you gather enough points, we'll reach the final destination." Noan and Vien Tru were very excited to hear this. Noan smiled brightly and replied, "Sure." Vien Tru was also filled with confidence, flexing his muscular arms and saying, "Finally, it's our turn to kill some monsters." The 3 of them, Jiang Kai, Vien Tru, and Noan, after defeating the group of intruders, continued their monster hunting journey in the forest with Jiang Kai leading the way. He reminded everyone, "Be careful here. We're close to the destination, and there might be a lot of points to gather, but the monsters get scarier as we approach the end, even bosses in the newbie zone." "We must be cautious," Jiang Kai said, taking the lead while Vien Tru stayed at the back, both of them alert to everything around them. Noan followed behind Jiang Kai and nodded in agreement. Suddenly, the 3 of them were horrified by the sight before them. A beast with a human face lying on the ground, its body mangled eyes bulging out, looking very eerie. Seeing the beast with a human face on the ground, Noan stammered in fear, "Is that a corpse of a beast with a human face?" Vien Tru, unable to hold back, commented, "It has many bite marks on it." "Was it bitten to death by something?" Jiang Kai, remaining calm, opened his special eyes to observe. Concentrating strange characters appeared in Jiang Kai's vision for a moment. He looked at the corpse of the beast with a human face on the ground and said, "Earlier I saw a golden light from afar. It seems a golden monster killed these two beasts." No one, hearing this, asked, "What kind of golden creature?" The three of them were unaware that something was silently watching them from behind. Suddenly a surge of golden power appeared. Vien Tru still hadn't realized what it was. He continued to chatter, "What kind of creature could kill two beasts with human faces? It's not targeting us, is it?" Suddenly a ball shot out, unleashing lightning bolts that attacked No and Jiang Kai before they could dodge. No could only cry out in pain. "What is that?" Vien Tru tried to shield himself, forcing one eye open to shout, "It's a golden creature! It's really targeting us!" After attacking the two, it charged towards Jiang Kai. At this moment, he stood still, not reacting. He just widened his eyes to observe. Vien Tru, clutching his injured arm in pain, shouted to remind Jiang Kai, "Kai, be careful, that thing has high damage. Be careful of being bitten to death." Jiang Kai dropped the metal pipe he was holding and reached for the golden light. No and Vien Tru watched in concern. One had a worried look while the other was bewildered. They both looked at Jiang Kai, who stood frozen for a few seconds, realizing he had caught something barehanded. It turned out to be a plump rat that Jiang Kai was holding tightly in his hand. Vien Tru was stunned. "What, it was that fast and you caught it?" No one covered her mouth with her hand and continued. "Caught with bare hands." Jiang Kai looked at the mouse in his hand and said, "Hey, you guys, think it's really fast, huh? Isn't it just a fat little mouse?" The mouse held by Jiang Kai, hearing this, angrily shouted, "You scoundrel, who are you calling slow and fat? Getting caught by you was just a mistake on my part." Jiang Kai chuckled lightly as he watched it scold him, thinking, "This mouse is really something." "Well then," he said as he released the mouse, "let's see if you can escape." Suddenly, its eyes emitted a powerful golden light, and it opened its mouth wide, shouting, "How dare you underestimate me!" It charged at Jiang Kai with electric sparks, and seeing this, he covered his head with both hands and screamed loudly. Jiang Kai let go. "That thing can bite the heads off two monster-faced creatures." Jiang Kai once again caught the mouse with his bare hands. Then he casually released it, saying, "It's no big deal. It's too slow for me." Jiang Kai kept repeating the action of catching the mouse and then letting it go, playing with it in his hands. Seeing this, the pillar's face stiffened. "Wow, Jiang Kai is so fast." No one covered her mouth in astonishment, praising him, "You're amazing." After a few minutes of catching mice, the little mouse finally raised a white flag, surrendering and lying obediently in Jiang Kai's hand. The little mouse was obedient. Jiang Kai looked at the mouse lying quietly in his hand and said, "This mouse has surrendered to me. It won't run away anymore." The pillar watched the obedient mouse in his hand. Jiang Kai was also wide-eyed. "You caught a pet based on your hand speed." The three of them turned to look at the two monster-faced creatures lying on the ground. Jiang Kai then said, "I wonder if this mouse can be tamed as a combat asset. But finding the two monster corpses is quite a gain." Jiang Kai placed the little mouse on his shoulder and looked at No and the pillar, continuing, "No, you guys are just a bit away from leveling up to level 4. Each of you catch one and keep hunting monsters to level up before the trial ends." No saw the fat mouse on Jiang Kai's shoulder. Her eyes lit up as she nodded and said, "Oh, such a cute little mouse." The pillar looked utterly dejected and said, "Compared to Jiang Kai, a martial artist like me is nothing." The scene shifted to a deep forest, where a man Li took careful steps, moving slowly. He wore a green cloak that covered his face, leaving only a bit of hair visible. It seemed he saw something ahead and smiled broadly, exclaiming, "Finally here." After such a long time, he finally reached the end of the novice area. Before him stood a massive castle. This was the Holy Miracle City. He stepped up the stairs, heading toward the high gate of the castle, which opened to reveal a group of people holding spears slowly walking out. 3 of them descended the stairs and approached the cloaked man. The leader stepped forward to greet the newcomer. "Congratulations on passing the trial. We are the guides for newcomers, welcoming you to officially become an explorer of the Demon Crystal." This person was indeed the newcomer guide Hadao, who placed a hand on his shoulder to comfort him. "But unfortunately, someone else has already taken first place." "But rankings aren't important. Just passing the trial is already impressive." After finishing his sentence, Hadao shrugged off the hand on his shoulder, scoffing, "I'm definitely not the first one here." He raised his hand to show off the cards he had collected. His voice was full of self-satisfaction. "But what are you basing that on?" The 3 saw that he had so many cards and were utterly astonished. The person behind Hadao Havi spoke up. "What the ranking is based on points. Having so many monster cards can exchange for a lot of points." The Cherry Blossom also spoke up, continuing, "Someone like you can kill so many monsters, huh? Slowly pulling the hood of his cloak down, a guy with messy blonde hair laughed arrogantly. "I'm the second young master of the Huang family. I'm the future high-ranking member of the Huyen Vu Guild. Before I came here, the demon had already trained me specially." Hearing that the second young master of the Huang family, Huang Vi, was even more astonished. He confirmed once again, "What do you mean the Huang family owns the Huyen Vu Guild?" "So the Huang family is involved with the Huyen Vu Guild, one of the top 10 major guilds. It's no surprise." Ha Dao turned to congratulate him. "Congratulations, man. Looking at the points, you're not just the top of this trial. You might even be in the top 10 of the Holy Wine rankings." Huang Vi spread his arms wide, looking up at the sky, laughing heartily. Today, Huang Vi is just chilling here. Getting first place in the trial is just the first step for a newcomer. Just give me some time and I will make the era of Huang Vi come true. He transitioned deep into the trial area. The rookie team, led by Jiang Kai, was still searching for monsters in the forest, walking the whole way without seeing a single monster. Jiang Kai wondered, "It's strange. We've been walking all day. Logically, there should be more monsters as we get closer to our destination. Why haven't we seen any?" He glanced back and continued. "Could it be that this little mouse scared them all away? How could that be?" No one walking behind him was only paying attention to the chubby little mouse sleeping on Jiang Kai's hood. It was such an adorable little mouse. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed, causing Jiang Kai and his group to turn around, looking back at something that made them a bit scared. A set of sharp claws appeared on the ground. Jiang Kai widened his eyes and exclaimed, "This is the Voan Lang, a pack of fierce wolves is heading towards us." At that moment, a gigantic wolf stepped out its paws, exuding a green aura as it walked. The massive wolf had gray and white fur with a scar over one eye. This was the boss of the rookie area, the Voan Lang Vuong. Jiang Kai, Noan, and Vien Tru were standing back to back. Their expressions shifted from shock to pale. Jiang Kai realized, "We're doomed. This is the boss of the rookie area, the Voan Lang Vuong. It turns out we've stumbled into the boss's territory." The pack of wolves had surrounded the three of them. In unison, they exclaimed, "We're surrounded!" Vien Tru looked at Jiang Kai, his eyes glistening with tears. "Jiang Kai, I heard the Lang Vuong is the strongest creature that has never been killed in the rookie area. If we encounter it, we're dead for sure. What do we do now?" Jiang Kai clenched the iron pipe he was holding, thinking, "There are too many wolves here. I could escape alone. But the others can't. We have to fight to the death." After thinking it through, he charged forward, shouting to the two who were still frozen in place, "True to no one, we can't run. We have to kill the Lang Vuong to break through the encirclement. Let's work together to kill the Lang Vuong." Hearing Jiang Kai, the two agreed. Jiang Kai rushed ahead while Vien Tru used his power. He struck the ground hard. "Watch me!" Vien Tru's strike immediately caused a huge explosion. The electric shock from his punch shot straight up into the sky, shaking the ground, and the wolves were knocked back by his blow. Seeing this, Jiang Kai praised him. Great control, true to Jiang Kai, then continued to give instructions to Noan. Noan, quickly add the snake venom to my weapon. She followed his orders and began to extract the poison, responding, "Got it." It was Jiang Kai's turn. He used two skills at once while shouting, "Now watch me, Kui Nan focus, Kui Thu fly." Jiang Kai unleashed a massive wave of power and light. It was Jiang Kai's turn. He activated two skills at once, loudly declaring, "Now watch me, Demon Eye, focus, Demon Hand, unleashed." Jiang Kai released a massive wave of light energy. A blast from Jiang Kai shot straight towards the Wolf King, which howled angrily, baring its teeth and glaring at Jiang Kai's group with fury. The three of them, Nuan, and the Pillar, gasped in fear as Jiang Kai shouted that they couldn't break through the Wolf King's defenses. At that moment, the Wolf King bared its sharp teeth. As it charged towards the three, the other wolves, seeing this, also bared their teeth, their sharp fangs lunging at Jiang Kai and his group, who were being attacked by the pack of wolves. Nuan, injured, stammered loudly, "This is bad. The Wolf King is commanding the pack to launch a full attack on us." The Pillar was using his strong arms to try to pry open the mouth of one wolf. While defending, he said that Jiang Kai's attacks on the Wolf King were ineffective. "Is there another way?" Jiang Kai was no better off. He was also struggling against the wolves and began to think that he couldn't defend against the Wolf King's overwhelming strength right now. The pack of wolves surrounded him, relentless. Suddenly, the fat mouse on Jiang Kai's hat was disturbed and woke up squeaking loudly as it looked at the wolves charging towards it. Its face quickly scrunched up in anger as it identified the culprits, the wolves. Jiang Kai was still doing his best to fend off the pack, and at this moment the little mouse became furious. Its body began to heat up and its teeth clenched tightly. This was a sleep-deprived rage. Immediately, the little mouse charged out with a burst of bright energy, attacking and taking down the wolves. It opened its mouth, wide eyes blazing with anger, unleashing fire as it lunged to bite the Wolf King. The Wolf King could only roar in response as Jiang Kai watched in shock. He was amazed to see the mouse tear through the Wolf King's skin and immediately realized something. He activated his demon eye skill and quickly spotted the wounds on the Wolf King's body. He turned back to think, so the mouse caused that wound good. Earlier, the Wolf King's defenses were too high, so his attacks had failed. But now that the Wolf King's skin was torn, he just needed to strike at the wound. Jiang Kai's train of thought was interrupted as he held tightly onto a wolf's mouth with one hand while immediately using his skill with the other. He poured all his strength into the iron tube and launched it towards the Wolf King. At this moment, his thoughts resumed the Wolf King's defense would be ineffective now that the iron tube struck it. This made the Wolf King roar in pain, and the little mouse on its back fell to the ground. Seeing it was effective, Jiang Kai quickly unleashed his next skill. He shot out 3 short bursts while thinking, indeed this works. Now he just needed to continue using his demon eye to focus on attacking. He was certain that under the continuous assaults from Jiang Kai, the Wolf King would be injured, blood staining its fur red. Jiang Kai unleashed his final blow, causing the Wolf King to explode in a critical hit, a massive blast that shocked Nuan and the pillar, who had to shield their eyes with one hand, and exclaimed, "What, Jiang Kai just delivered a killing blow to the Shadow Wolf King!" Jiang Kai stood frozen in place as the system notification appeared. "Congratulations, Explorer Jiang Kai, for defeating the boss of the novice area, the Shadow Wolf King." Jiang Kai couldn't believe his eyes, thinking about how he originally wanted to fight it. The result was a critical hit of 200 times. It was about time. He hadn't triggered a critical hit in so long while grinding. Now that he finally did, it was normal. The pack of wolves, seeing their king had fallen, immediately retreated like headless chickens fleeing in panic. Nuan noticed and called out, "Jiang Kai, look, the wolves seem to want to run." Jiang Kai then asked the two, "Can you still fight Nuan and the pillar?" Both replied in unison, "Yes." Jiang Kai responded, "That's good." After saying that, he felt invigorated and charged forward. Without the Wolf King leading them, the pack was just fish on a chopping board. The pillar gritted his teeth, recalling how they had dealt with them earlier. The 3 of them didn't hold back, charging towards the pack of wolves, coordinating seamlessly as Jiang Kai and the pillar attacked while Nuan supported from behind. They helped them treat their wounds until the pack of wolves lay sprawled on the ground. Then they laughed and celebrated, saying it was finally over. Looking at the wolves lying on the ground, True too happily said he never expected we could handle them. "Look, the boss of the newbie area is here. No one known is also cheering us on. We really are amazing." Jiang Kai turned to the 2 who spoke earlier and said, "I left a lot of shadow wolves with low health. You guys should hurry and gather more points." No one nodded at that, and Vian True also asked, "So what's next?" Jiang Kai replied, "Right now we have a lot of points in hand, so of course the next step is to head to the final destination." A few hours later, as dawn broke, the 3 finally reached their destination, where there were many people bustling about. Vian True observed the crowd and said, "Is this our holy realm in the Soul Star?" No one exclaimed excitedly, "It's so magnificent!" Hearing them, Jiang Kai joined in. Of course. The Holy Wine City is the largest gathering place for the people of the Holy Wine Kingdom in the Soul Star. Suddenly, a mouse jumped down from Jiang Kai's hood and ran away. No one noticed and reminded him, "That mouse is running away." Jiang Kai calmly replied, "It's fine, that's its freedom. If fate allows, we might meet again." The grand hall for welcoming newbies was bustling with people. Hadao was leading the 3 of them. He cheerfully said, "Congratulations on passing the challenge. I'm Hadao, the staff member introducing newbies. All the newbies who have passed the gate are here now." Jiang Kai looked at him and said, "Officer, can I see the rankings of the newbies who passed the trials?" Hadao replied, "Of course." From a distance, Huang Vi had spotted them and wore a sinister smile. What a coincidence, he walked towards Jiang Kai, pointing at the watch on his wrist. With a smug expression, he said, "I didn't expect those little thieves working for me would also participate in the trials. Shall I show you their rankings?" Jiang Kai noticed his darkening expression and felt displeased, thinking he never expected Huang Vi to arrive here early. Huang Vi opened the rankings with pride and said, "I'm at the top. And you all have perfectly secured the first position, but it's just counting down from the bottom." A group of others saw Jiang Kai and mocked him. Luong Van's voice was full of sarcasm. "Look at these useless fools. With such a record, how dare you ask?" Following him was Hadao, who laughed along. "You're not even worth a fraction of those losers." Jiang Kai's gaze turned cold as he looked at Huang Vi. He thought about his sister who came to the Soul Star to earn money for him, and how she had to work for Huang Vi, who had harassed her many times. Moreover, Huang Vi often exploited his brother's illness to humiliate him. He recalled the times Huang Vi and his lackeys beat him, and he could only lie on the ground gritting his teeth in pain. After each beating, Huang Vi would laugh mockingly, "Your brother is a sick dog and you are just a weakling." Vian True was dissatisfied. He was about to rush in and curse at him when Huang Vi said, I advise you to clean your mouth. Jiang Kai quickly held him back and urged him to calm down. It's fine, True Two said as everyone started to gather around. Jiang Kai stepped forward and said, I apologize, everyone. I want to announce to everyone that the rankings will soon be rearranged because we've already taken the top 3 spots. The group of Huang Vi heard that. They burst out laughing as if they had just heard a joke, and Huang Vi pointed to his head and said, Are you out of your mind? 3 people took the top 3 spots based on their mouths. He laughed and said, Commander, I think these guys are sick. Another member of his group chimed in, Yeah, that's right. They probably need some mental therapy. Jiang Kai turned to say to No, we don't need to pretend anymore. No, nodded in response. The officer touched his watch and said, I've been waiting for you to say that. Then let's flip the cards. When the officer's watch opened, thousands of monster cards appeared, and the group of Huang Vi could only gape in shock. Huang Vi clenched his teeth in frustration. What are you grinding your teeth for? His eyes were glued to the pile of cards as if they were about to spill out. How could there be so many monster corpses? Not only were there the human-faced beasts, but there were also many shadow wolves. No way. As they flipped through the cards, one person suddenly exclaimed, I even see a Shadow Wolf King. Huang Vi couldn't believe it and angrily said, What kind of joke is this? You guys are all useless. How could you possibly kill so many monsters? And even a Shadow Wolf King. How could this happen? Jiang Kai didn't even look at him. He just smirked and said, Whether it's real or fake, the rankings have already told you. Everyone check the rankings. Whispers filled the air as they looked. Look, the rankings have really changed, so their points are real. Huang Vi gritted his teeth and opened his watch to see how this could be possible. Moreover, they really did take the top 3 spots. Jiang Kai casually put his hands in his pockets, smiled, and said, Do you think this is all there is? He stepped forward a few paces and asked the commander, If we eliminate the shadow beasts, do those count for points? Jiang Kai then threw out a pile of watches and continued, Will those count for extra points? Ha Dao was astonished to see the pile of watches in front of him and said, These are the watches of the shadow beasts. The group of Huang Vi was also shocked to hear this. What shadow beasts? Huang Vi laughed maniacally and mocked, You guys are exposed. How could a rookie possibly eliminate shadow beasts? Indeed, a bunch of frauds. He spread his arms wide and said loudly for everyone to hear, Besides, there are no shadow beasts in this trial. Has anyone here encountered a shadow beast? The crowd hearing him raised their hands in agreement. No, we absolutely didn't encounter anyone. He pointed at Jiang Kai's group and continued, Commander, look at how many witnesses there are. Besides them, there's basically no one who has encountered a shadow beast. They must be frauds. I suggest we nullify their achievements and seriously investigate them. Ha Dao was at a loss for how to judge the situation. Ha Dao was momentarily at a loss for how to respond. I can only utter one word as the crowd around me starts to speak up, pressing for serious action. Hurry up and punish these liars. A person suddenly stepped out from the crowd saying, Don't worry, the fake identities really exist. It's just that we haven't had the chance to inform everyone yet. Huang Vi heard him and stood still watching this person step forward. Lo Tuan, the deputy commander of the Jiang Central Military, wearing a white suit and glasses, stepped out followed by 2 others, and he spoke slowly. At first, I was very surprised to hear this news. But my superiors insisted that I personally commend the 3 of you, Jiang Kai, proving that this is entirely true. The people around Huang Vi, upon hearing this, broke out in a cold sweat. Hai Dao and another guy exclaimed in unison, What? That's Lo Tuan, the deputy commander of Jiang Central. All the big shots are here now. This proves they really know about those fake identities. Huang Vi could only manage a few words at this point. Is it really true? Lo Tuan approached Jiang Kai and said, Jiang Kai, on behalf of the military, to encourage you for resolving the threat of those fake identities, we have decided to upgrade your reward. Your equipment. The people outside could only respond in unison. Huh! Lo Tuan looked at Jiang Kai, smiled lightly, and continued. Originally, the reward for 2nd and 3rd place was level B, but now it will become level A. As for the 1st place reward for Jiang Kai, it will be upgraded from level A to level S. The 3 of them, Jiang Kai, Vien Tru, and Noan, were overjoyed. Vien Tru laughed loudly. Really? Noan also smiled brightly. That's great, Jiang Kai, you should thank them. The people outside were utterly astonished. One guy raised both hands, pulling his hair in disbelief. What, the reward just went from level A to level S Hai Dao? Hearing this, he was also dumbfounded. They just started and already have equipment like that. In Jiang Kai's mind, he was imagining the elite class of Jiang Kai standing at the podium and the equipment in that elite class being distributed from level S to level F. Level F is the lowest quality, while S is top-notch. Overall, level B and C equipment is already quite good. Levels A and S are rarer, something every explorer dreams of. Huang Vi, listening from outside, clenched his fists, trembling with rage. He gritted his teeth, veins bulging, thinking, even if Jiang Kai gets the level S reward, it doesn't matter. This dares to push me down to 4th place! Huang Vi, furious, his face flushed, shouted loudly. It's unfair! There must be something wrong with this result! What is that Jiang Kai to surpass me? Jiang Kai looked at him coldly, speaking each word clearly. Huang Vi, the military has confirmed it, yet you still don't believe it. Moreover, I warn you not to disturb my family. A man in armor shouted to stop him, but it was too late. Huang Vi, not hearing anything, drew his sword. With a challenging tone, he said, So what did I say something wrong? You guys are just a bunch of lowly commoners. He stood in front of Jiang Kai, continuing to insult him and his family. Your brother is just a sick dog and your sister is just a servant. You're just a loser that I beat up in a corner. How dare you step on my head today? Jiang Kai's face darkened and he remained silent. Huang Vi, wielding a knife, charged at him furiously, shouting that he should know that your little servant sister is still working for my family. You dare to provoke me? There's a rumor that one day I'll bring it up. Before he could finish his sentence, Jiang Kai slashed him across the chest. Huang Vi was left with a large gash, and before he could react, fresh blood splattered everywhere. The crowd, including Luong Van and Hai Hai, gasped at the sight. What the hell, Noan and Vien Tru also spoke up as Jiang Kai targeted Huang Vi. Lo Tuan stood outside watching the scene unfold. He merely smiled faintly, his gaze filled with complexity. He thought, so this is how it goes down. Seeing Jiang Kai severely injure Huang Vi, the onlookers were stunned, especially Luong Van, who was utterly shocked. Huang Vi was now kneeling on the ground, trembling. One bystander shouted, Huang Vi comes from the Huang family, one of the 10 major guilds in the country. Jiang Kai dares to lay a hand on him. Huang Vi, drenched in sweat, covered the wound that was bleeding profusely from his chest. Gritting his teeth, he said each word with difficulty. Jiang Kai, you dare to lay a hand on me. Do you know what you'll have to face? Jiang Kai turned around, still holding the metal pipe, looking at him with a cold gaze, replying, You filthy beast, you spread rumors wanting to lay hands on my family. I don't need to know who you are, Huang Vi replied, feeling a twinge of fear as Jiang Kai stepped closer, saying, In this world, my family is the most important to me. As long as someone dares to touch them, the onlookers could only watch in silence, not daring to speak. Jiang Kai stood before Huang Vi, raising the metal pipe. Jiang Kai looked down at him, clearly articulating, No matter who it is, I will definitely take action. Seeing this, Huang Vi trembled and raised a hand to shield himself. His voice shook. Wait! Jiang Kai showed no mercy, thrusting the metal pipe straight at Huang Vi. I will also kill that person! The pipe pierced through Huang Vi's body, and he screamed in agony. When Jiang Kai pulled the pipe out, Huang Vi had already breathed his last. The system immediately sent a notification to the explorer Jiang Kai successfully killed a level 1 explorer. Huang Vi can loot 6 experience points with an option to loot or not. Jiang Kai squinted, muttering, Only 6 experience points can I loot from a poor noble family. Seeing that Jiang Kai had killed Huang Vi, the crowd, including Luong Van, looked on in shock. One of them shouted, What he dared to kill the young master of the Huang family. Even if he was killed in a cursed realm, the Huang family's Zhuanvu guild is a massive force. Another one chimed in, This guy is really bold, isn't he? Lo Tuan, with his hands in his pockets, observed Jiang Kai from behind, silently assessing him. Not bad, this kid is a bit reckless, but not lacking in integrity. He is indeed someone the higher-ups want to meet. Seeing the chaos, Lo Tuan cleared his throat a few times and said, Everyone Huang Vi initiated the challenge against Jiang Kai. It was self-defense that led to this outcome. With that, he waved his hand, signaling Jiang Kai's group to follow him. Jiang Kai, you 3 come with me. I'll take you to collect your rewards. Jiang Kai replied, Yes, thank you, officer. Vien Tru looked at Jiang Kai with sparkling eyes. Just now, Jiang Kai was incredible. Noan also chimed in, That was so cool. Outside in a small hut, a few people were standing there. It was a group of 3. Jiang Kai and Lo Tuan stood in the hut in front of Jiang Kai were Noan and Vien Tru with 3 secret treasure boxes. Lo Tuan crossed his arms over his chest, saying, You've kept us waiting. This is the special military equipment reward for everyone. Hurry up and open it. Jiang Kai replied, Thank you. Noan reached out to open her box, and a sparkling light emanated from within, revealing a gem that radiated brilliant light flying towards Noan. She joyfully exclaimed, It's the life gem. This is the equipment every beginner doctor dreams of. Lo Tuan, seeing her so happy, nodded. The life gem increases physical health by 15 points and enhances healing and potion-making effects significantly. Vien Tru tried on the armor. He nodded, acknowledging that Ngok Thatch's physical attributes, life force, and mental power had all increased by 15 points, along with enhanced healing and potion-making effects, all thanks to the armor he was wearing. The armor sparkled as Vien Tru happily raised his hand to show off, Look at this, my armor is so cool. Lo Tuan laughed, clapping his hands and saying, The chest capacity of the black lava tea armor has increased by 16 points. Plus, it can reduce damage by 16%. This is a comprehensive quality equipment, so useful. No one standing behind was curious and urged Jiang Kai, "Jiang Kai, you should open yours too." He nodded in agreement. Jiang Kai opened his gift box and a blinding light burst forth, hitting his eyes. Before him lay a set of 9 swords in the box, and the system displayed that he needed to identify the equipment. Seeing this, Lo Tuan stroked his chin in thought and said, "Looks like it needs to be identified." The equipment was exciting, and Vian Tru chimed in, "It needs an identification card, so it must be really good." Lo Tuan took out something that looked like a piece of ice. He held it up and said, "That's right, good quality equipment usually requires an identification card. Luckily, I have a few that can help you guys identify it." As he inserted the identification card, Jiang Kai's reward information immediately appeared. 9 lives pursuit weapon grade S with 9 points of energy, 9 points of piercing power, and 9 points of flexibility. Special effect. Each time the weapon is used, the critical damage rate and critical damage will increase by 10% up to a maximum of 90% after activating a critical strike. All effects of the pursuit will reset. Seeing the information panel, Lo Tuan spoke up first. "Wow. So it's a critical hit weapon. Newbies have low attack power. Even if they get a critical hit, the damage won't be high. This grade S weapon seems weaker than the others." Hearing this, Vian Tru was taken aback and asked, Officer, isn't this a bit misleading for my buddies? Can we exchange Jiang Kai's equipment?" Lo Tuan put his hands in his pockets and continued, "It's a hassle, but I can help you apply for an exchange." Hearing this, Jiang Kai quickly refused. "No, I don't need to exchange. I want this one." Everyone was stunned by Jiang Kai's words. He picked up one of the swords to examine it, thinking to himself, "How could this equipment possibly screw me over? Clearly, this is the perfect equipment for me. You should know that my critical damage isn't just double, it's 200 times that of an ordinary person. As long as I land a critical hit, even the invisible Wolf King can't stop me. But it's a pity that my critical hit rate will be very low. If I encounter a strong enemy, I might die without even landing a critical hit. At that point, I wouldn't have a chance to fight back. But with 9 lives pursuit, each strike has at least a 10% critical hit rate, and by the 9th strike, it can go up to 90%. It's almost guaranteed to be a critical hit." He raised the sword high, his face filled with pride, and thought to himself that this could even be called a divine weapon. Lo Tuan saw Jiang Kai's determination not to exchange, and simply nodded in response. "All right, if you like it, then no need to exchange. After you pass the trial, you can return to Earth if you want." Lo Tuan walked closer to Jiang Kai, gently patting him on the shoulder, and slowly continued. "But Jiang Kai, I want to remind you that someone might come looking for you soon. I sincerely advise you to be careful when you go home." Hearing Officer Lo's warning, the 3 of them, Jiang Kai, Vian Tru, and Noan, stood there frozen, watching his figure leave. The 3 of them watched as Jiang Kai walked away, Noan standing there, frozen in place. The scene shifts to the Holy Earth, where Jiang Kai is happily riding his bike home through the slums. As he rides, he thinks to himself, "I can't believe I managed to pass the beginner's trial so smoothly. I wonder how his older brother would react if he knew about this. Next, I'll take my big brother and Antu away from here. Get away from the royal family as soon as possible." You lift your head to look at the old dilapidated building that has deteriorated over the years. Everywhere around the building, trash piles up, emitting a foul smell, and you continue to think. From now on, we won't have to live in the slums anymore. My brother's body will be well taken care of, and he won't be harassed anymore. You hold your phone in your hand. Your gaze drifts far away, as if looking into the distant future of yourself and your family. Jiang Kai continues to think that everything will turn out just fine. Jiang Kai puts his bike away and heads inside the house. You open the door and call out, "Brother, I'm home." You smile with squinty eyes as you walk in, continuing to call, "I'm back." Everyone guess how my rookie training went. Not hearing any responses, you open your eyes to see a man sitting on the couch, and right in front of you, a group of strangers appears in the living room. Each of them has a sinister look on their faces. The man sitting on the couch glares at you with hostility. It's Huang Dat. Upon seeing you, he speaks up. After waiting for half a day, finally someone is home. "I heard that today you were quite impressive during your rookie training, huh?" You are caught off guard and stammer, "You're Huang V's brother Huang Dat, right? What do you want?" A thought suddenly flashes through your mind. Oh no, how did the royal family get here so quickly? Before you can finish your thought, a hand pushes you forward, and 2 guys on either side hold your arms tightly, forcing Jiang Kai to kneel down. "Kneel down, Jiang Kai!" You try to resist, but you can't because you're controlled by these 2. Huang Dat stands up, looking down at you with a baseball bat in one hand and his other hand in his pocket, saying, "Jiang Kai, do you know that my younger brother was killed by you on the training ground? Now he's back and being sent for psychological treatment. You know only people from the royal family can bully others. No one has dared to bully us until now." Jiang Kai glares at him in anger. Huang Dot at this moment seems to go mad, his eyes bloodshot as he looks at you, grinning savagely. What you did to Huang Vi offline for a month means you'll have to log out for life, you bastard. As soon as he finishes without blinking, he swings the baseball bat down towards Jiang Kai's head. Jiang Kai's eyes widen, his teeth clenched as he stares at him, but he can't fight back because he's being held down. Suddenly, the door to Jiang Kai's house is kicked open by someone. The door flies out and hits the two guys holding him. They cry out in pain and release Jiang Kai's arms. Both the guys in front and Huang Dot are taken down in an instant. Lying on the floor, Huang Dot shouts loudly, "Who the hell is that?" Next to you, a tall man appears, followed by Talam Lam entering. The man speaks. "Jiang Kai, I told you to be careful when you got home. You should have paid attention." It turns out to be Wei Ung, who is puffing on a cigarette while continuing, "Why didn't you take it seriously?" "Huh?" Talam Lam steps in, raising a piece of paper, her tone serious. "Don't move, the military is working." The group of Huang Dot is stunned to see Wei Ung. One of them speaks up. "What is it?" "The commanding officer, Wei Ung, senior officer of the Zhangjiang military district." Huang Dot is shocked. How could such a big shot come here? Wei Ung raises his hand to take the cigarette from his mouth, his expression fierce. "We came because of Jiang Kai. Today you guys have messed with someone you shouldn't have." Hearing this, Huang Dot's face darkens. In an instant, his face turns as black as a pot bottom. He never expected Wei Ung would come for Jiang Kai. He grits his teeth and says, "The commander came for Jiang Kai. How could that be? What status does that kid have?" At this moment, Jiang Kai slowly leaned against the wall, struggling to stand up, and suddenly thought about what it meant to be a high-ranking officer in the capital of Jiangtrong. It was again because of him that, under the pressure of the royal army, he had to bow and admit his mistakes with two large guards standing behind him, watching him closely. The three of them, Jiang Kai, Wei Ung, and To Lam Lam, stood outside in the hallway looking down, and at this moment, Jiang Kai spoke up to thank the commander and everyone for coming to save him today. He just didn't understand why Wei Ung interrupted him, saying, "Don't be so tense. We're looking for you for a purpose. This is a training exercise for new recruits." Vian Tru and Tu Noen Noen performed exceptionally well. Did you know that after you left Vian Tru and Tu Noen Noen were invited to join the army? We're here to invite you too. Just take a moment, Wei Ung said as he took the cigarette from his mouth, exhaling a puff of white smoke before continuing. "You have a new profession, right?" Hearing him mention the three words "new profession," Jiang Kai was momentarily stunned. He didn't understand how Wei Ung knew about his situation. Talam Lam turned to him and said, "Jiang Kai, do you know what it means to have a new profession?" Currently, there are many professions for demon explorers, and each explorer gets a job change every time they level up to 20. With each job change, the attributes and skills of the explorer will change. Some will become stronger, but some will become weaker. Right now, there are many job changes in the late stages that are basically useless. That's why the army is always looking for new professions to find stronger combat power. She stepped closer to Jiang Kai and slowly said, "What you currently possess seems to be a very strong new profession, so Jiang Kai, would you agree to join the army with your new identity?" After Talam Lam finished speaking, everyone fell into deep thought. Wei Ung broke the somewhat heavy atmosphere, saying, "Don't worry, we're not trying to force you. I apologize for investigating your family before coming here. We found out about your brother's illness," Talam Lam continued. "As long as you agree to join the army, they will not only protect your family, but also take full responsibility for your brother's medical expenses." Hearing this, Jiang Kai remained tight-lipped and did not respond. Wei Ung and Talam Lam left Jiang Kai standing in the hallway as the two slowly walked away. Before leaving, Wei Ung added, "Aren't you here for your brother's medical expenses? If you agree, come to the army to register tomorrow." Talam Lam also left a message, "Just find me then." Watching the two figures gradually walk away, Jiang Kai seemed to have made a decision. He spoke up. "I'm sorry, but I refuse to join the army." The two Wei Ung and To Lam Lam were taken aback by his decision. Lam Lam turned around and asked why. Jiang Kai continued, "I know joining the army is a good thing, but that's for professions that will definitely develop strongly in the future. For example, the warrior profession of Vian Tru and the doctor profession of Noen Known." He placed his hand on his chest, his gaze firm, "But I'm not like that. I have a new profession. Remember back when they discovered the demon wine? Wasn't the new profession also valued by the army? At that time, the army worked hard to support the demon wine, and the demon wine was at its peak. But when the army realized that the demon wine would be of no use if they continued to develop it, wasn't the demon wine abandoned by the army? Look at the current state of the demon wine. Changing professions to become a demon wine is no different from being eaten." He thought of his happy little family and continued speaking. At that time, the army was desperately supporting the wine demon, which was at its peak. But when the army realized that the wine demon would be of no use if they continued to develop it, wasn't the wine demon abandoned by the army? Looking at the state of the wine demon transforming into one is no different than eating. Just think about your happy little family and then continue. This time I was too excited and caught off guard. I didn't expect the Hoang family to act so openly. We need to get out of this area quickly. Being under the Hoang family's control, I really appreciate everyone who has helped us, but the three of us have relied on each other for over 10 years. Jiang Kai clenched his fist, showing his determination. We're more used to holding our own fate than relying entirely on someone else's protection. Upon hearing this, Tu Lam Lam angrily shouted, but right now he was in his new professional role, which might bring about a significant change for all of humanity. Humanity really needs you right now. How can you think like that? Jiang Kai turned his face away, trying to avoid her gaze. He replied, I'm sorry I'm not that great. I just want to protect my family and live safely. Tu Lam Lam, hearing this, stubbornly tried to say something else, but Wei Ung had come over and placed his hand on her shoulder, interrupting her. Let's drop it. I understand this kid's point. Wei Ung had lit a cigarette, at some point holding it between his fingers as he slowly spoke to Jiang Kai. Habits formed over more than 10 years can't change overnight. It can take a day or two, but listen, kid, you need to know your brother doesn't have much time left. The cigarette he just lit had burned down 2/3. He flicked the ash off and continued. In this apocalypse, fighting alone won't be effective. We might as well take a gamble. He looked at Jiang Kai and smirked. For the next month, the army will protect you from the royal family's interference. If you can earn enough for your brother's surgery within that month, and prove your strength to protect your family, I'll agree to your refusal to enlist. But if you can't earn the money, the army will cover your brother's medical expenses. You'll help him survive, but afterward you'll have to enlist for evaluation. Tu Lam Lam was taken aback by what he said. She was also stunned, not expecting Wei Ung to think so deeply. Wei Ung and Tu Lam Lam stood before Jiang Kai once more. Jiang Kai smiled as if willing to follow his words. He replied, All right, I agree. The sky in the city had turned dark by then. Alone at home, Jiang Kai began to think. Now facing the army's gamble, he had to quickly return to Mars to earn money for his brother's surgery. He wrote a note to leave for his brother and younger sibling before heading out. Big brother, I'm leaving. Everyone is still working overtime. I've passed the test and will return to Mars before you. He left the house. Walking through streets filled with homeless people and addicts' thoughts flooded his mind, compounded by the threat from the royal family. The three of us can't live in a place like this anymore. We need to move to a higher security area for safety, so this return to Mars is a heavy task. But next time I will definitely come back with enough money. Jiang Kai returned to the bustling city of Mars, where it was still crowded with people. Jiang Kai had changed into a new set of gear. Looking at his outfit, he thought that after overcoming the beginner's challenge, the adventure on Mars was about to officially begin. After changing clothes in the trading area, he finally could earn money by fighting monsters on Mars. He looked up at the wooden sign hanging above. It read Guild. He thought that new players wanting to make money on Mars had to join a guild because the monsters there were so strong. Basically, you'd die if you fought them alone, so all new explorers had to join a guild to form a team to battle the monsters. After all, a guild is a large team. Once new members join a guild, they can follow team members to fight monsters and increase their survival rate. So let's see which guilds I can join. He opened the door to a room, excitedly stepping inside. Hello, I want to join a guild. The girl with purple hair sitting at the reception desk introduced herself as Tu Huyen. She responded to Jiang Kai, Sorry, you must be Jiang Kai, right? She spoke up, responding to Jiang Kai, Sorry, you must be Jiang Kai, right? Right now you can't join the guild. Jiang Kai asked her why. She raised her hand and pointed at the picture of him marked with a big X, explaining that since he offended the royal family, he is now blacklisted by most. The entire guild, actually. After hearing this, Jiang Kai seemed frozen for a few seconds. So if nothing changes, you'll only be able to challenge the demon essence alone in the safe zone outside the holy city. Jiang Kai came here alone for the selection area. There were many eyes around watching him. Jiang Kai walked while rubbing his head, wondering what he did to offend the royal family, as no guild would dare accept him the Great Year Mountain Path. Is it really over before it even began? Suddenly, a person dressed in patched clothes with a large tear on their shoulder approached from behind, calling out to him because he was worried about which area to go to for hunting monsters. Jiang Kai nodded and turned around to see a girl. She was an explorer named Huo Yan, a level 29 fortune teller. She winked and mischievously smiled at Jiang Kai, saying, I'm a fortune teller who can calculate the best spot for you, just 100 demon essence coins. Jiang Kai looked at her speechless and turned to leave. She waved her hand apologetically. Sorry, I'm an atheist. Huoyan hurriedly called out to him, Wait, please don't go. You can bargain 83 coins, or I can offer you a free reading as a startup promotion. Upon hearing free, Jiang Kai immediately turned around 180 degrees, his attitude brightening as he stood in front of her. Free, well, then I'll take you up on that. Huoyan, still a bit superstitious, was taken aback by his quick change of heart, thinking to herself that he was really stingy. She opened her skill bag, gritted her teeth, and took out her monster card, thinking to herself that she might as well practice her skills. She held up her monster card, and it immediately lit up. She mumbled some characters under her breath, and soon glowing lines of text appeared neatly before Huoyan. As she looked at the lines of text, she said to Jiang Kai, "Customer, you are currently in danger. If you don't want to get caught up in it, I advise you to go straight ahead." At this moment, it was the king of the valley, the king of the mountain valley. Hearing her words, Jiang Kai raised his hand to his chin, pondering for a moment. This danger was indeed real, as the royal family was targeting him. It's just that the safe zone has a rule against killing, which is why the royal family wouldn't dare touch him. He thought about the Hoyduk Plain, where several bizarre creatures appeared and 2 monsters were wielding swords. The scenery here looked like a furnace magnifying the mountains. Flames erupted from the ground, cracking open with streams of lava flowing out. This was where new adventurers trained all at level 110 in the Hoyduk Plain. However, it was highly likely that the royal family would send someone here to kill him. He switched to the Taiping Mountain Path, where the scenery was beautiful with both mountains and rivers, and the Taiping Mountain Path was for adventurers level 15 and above. If he went there now, he would definitely die. Jiang Kai snapped out of his thoughts and looked ahead at the king of the mountain valley, thinking about this place. This was indeed a dangerous area for levels 10 and above. With his current strength, entering here would be a struggle. The royal family probably wouldn't expect him to come here. All right, after thinking for a while, he finally made his decision. If the royal family wouldn't let him join the guild, then he would just fight the demon essence alone. The king of the valley was his #1 target. After finishing his thoughts, he immediately ran off. He turned back to leave a message for Huoyan. "Thank you so much for your guidance." Huoyan, still confused, could only wave goodbye to Jiang Kai. After a moment, she seemed to realize something. Huoyan's eyes widened in shock and she froze, thinking, "Wait, why is he going to the king of the valley alone? I said you need a team." Where on earth is the king's valley? A newcomer like him going in there is just asking for trouble. With that, she started packing her things into her bag, getting ready to leave. "Forget about this. It has nothing to do with me. Just don't take back the 5-star rating you gave me." Transitioning to the king's valley, Jiang Kai arrived at a scene that unfolded before him: lush green mountains, clear waters, and babbling streams. Jiang Kai looked around at everything. In his heart, he thought, "So this is the King's Valley? I wonder what kind of monsters are here?" Suddenly, a roar echoed from behind him. He turned around, his eyes alert, scanning the source of the roar he just heard. A beast with sharp teeth was opening its mouth wide. It let out powerful cries. A giant mutated gorilla with long fangs was fiercely attacking a group of people. This group seemed exhausted, being thrown around by it. A boy with neatly tied blonde hair was still holding on loudly, encouraging everyone to hang in there. The system displayed information about the giant gorilla, accompanied by warnings: level 11 monster black gorilla, strength 172, physique 68, agility 142, spirit power 13, defense 3. One of them suddenly spoke up. "This black monkey is level 11, and we're already level 10. Just a little more effort and we can take it down. Let's attack harder." Everyone rallied their spirits and took their fighting positions, responding in unison. At that moment, Jiang Kai had reached the source of the roar. He hid behind a large tree to observe the situation. Jiang Kai saw them and couldn't help but think to himself, "So this is the fighting team of the adventurers. It's so intense. Moreover, the monsters here seem really strong. I wonder what I'll encounter." Suddenly, Jiang Kai noticed something. His eyes widened as he turned around. 3 pairs of eyes from the monsters were staring directly at him. Jiang Kai jumped back to defend himself. Are they really here? Just as I mentioned them, they showed up. He checked his watch. It was issuing a serious danger warning with 3 level 12 monsters in front of him. Level 12, Black Gorilla Danger Assessment. Level 13, Black Gorilla Danger Assessment. Level 14, Black Gorilla Danger Assessment on this side. The squad earlier had just finished off a level 11 Black Gorilla. The system's announcement also popped up. The Heavenly Sword Squad had taken down a level 11 Black Gorilla, and they cheered in joy. "We finally won. We're amazing." One person gave a thumbs up to the blonde guy who was Wu Hang. He happily said, "Captain, we're level 10 and managed to take down a level 11 Black Gorilla without losing any members. Can we brag about this a bit?" The blonde-haired boy grinned proudly. "My name is Tuan, of course." "Look who's the captain!" Before he could finish, they were distracted by a loud noise and turned to see the scene before them in shock. 3 black gorillas were chasing Jiang Kai. He was sprinting with all his might, dodging their attacks, thinking to himself that he must have wandered into their territory. Wu Hang saw the monsters charging toward them. He shouted loudly, "Captain, over there!" "There's someone fighting 3 black gorillas." The scene continued, adding that each of them had a higher rank than the ones we just fought. Nuok, worried, spoke up. "We have to go help that person." Tuan Giat, hearing them say that, was also frightened and said, These idiots. That guy must have attracted all three of those monkeys at once. Now one of them is still not dead. If we go over there, we're definitely going to die. We better run. Saying that Tuan Giat turned and walked away. Just as Tuan Giat turned to leave, a huge explosion occurred, causing him to freeze in place as a black demon was thrown far away. The system notification popped up, eliminated Black Demon level 12x1 by Jiang Kai. He used the 9 lives pursuit to eliminate the black demon, taking one down. Jiang Kai felt happy inside, thinking, nice, every time I use pursuit, it increases the critical hit rate. By the 5th strike, it would finally trigger a super critical hit. The group of Tuan Giat watched this scene, their mouths agape in disbelief. Tuan Giat stared wide-eyed and then exclaimed, "What? We had to struggle to take down a level 11 black demon, and that kid took down one by himself in just a few seconds." The other two, seeing their teammate killed by Jiang Kai, became even more frenzied in their pursuit. Jiang Kai ran while glancing back, holding a pursuit in his hand, thinking to himself, "Then let's add one more." He threw the pursuit in his hand with immense power, hitting a black demon which exploded in an instant. The system notification rang out again. Eliminated Black Demon level 13x1. Jiang Kai was overjoyed, his eyes filled with confidence that he would take down the last black demon. He happily thought, this time I've got it. Just one attack with pursuit increases the critical hit rate by 10%, and it activated a supercritical hit. The group of Tuan Giat standing outside saw him continue to slaughter another black demon, their expressions filled with disbelief. Tuan Giat's mouth dropped even wider. Earlier, he stammered, "What, he killed another one?" The last black demon still didn't give up the chance to kill Jiang Kai. It continued to chase him down. Jiang Kai was running for his life. He thought, great, now there's only one left. Seeing this, Tuan Giat also broke out in a cold sweat and spoke up, "That's the strongest black demon level 14 here. I can't believe he can kill it." Jiang Kai glanced back, calculating in his mind that he only had 3 pursuits left. However, his divine power and stamina were nearly depleted. He was about to run out of energy. He gathered all his strength into the 3 pursuits, thinking, then I can only bet that before it catches me, I'll try to increase the critical hit rate. With that thought, he used his strength to split the 3 pursuits into many different pieces. Jiang Kai turned back, using all his remaining strength. After thinking for a moment, he gathered all his strength to break the 3 mission pieces into many different fragments. Jiang Kai turned back, using up the last of his strength. He launched 3 throwing knives, sending them with bright red lightning towards the last black beast, betting on who would die first, him or it. The black beast charged towards him, but the 3 knives hit it, causing it to explode. It barely had time to scream before Jiang Kai saw the black beast burst apart. He joyfully shouted, "Nice, that's how you do it." Using all the weapons he had, he truly delivered a fatal blow, and the black beast fell right in front of Tuan's group. They were once again left speechless as the system announced the elimination of a level 14 black beast by Tuan's group. Their faces turned from pale to green, and they all exclaimed in unison, "He really managed to kill all 3 of them." A group of 10 people struggled just to take down these 3 black beasts. "Who on earth is this guy?" Jiang Kai approached the remains of the black beast, sighing in relief. He hadn't expected this monster to be so easy to defeat. He collected 3 tokens from it. "You see, I now have 3 cards containing the remains of those black beasts in my hands. It seems like taking one down isn't that hard, huh?" After thinking that, he immediately ran off. Tuan tried to chase after him, but it was too late. Tuan stood frozen in place, panicking. "It's over, the Great One is gone. I should have made friends with the Great One like this." He felt like he was falling into despair, crying out, "Who told you to stop me from helping the Great One at the beginning? I really regret it." Those 3 from the martial arts team looked at him in disbelief, not knowing what to say. They only thought, isn't he the captain? The scene shifts to the burning plains where a crowd was gathering. Suddenly, someone in the crowd exclaimed, "Am I seeing things? There are 3 martial artists?" "A soldier and a doctor, too," another voice chimed in. "Isn't this the famous Hawk Squad from the Royal Zhuanvu Guild? I see one of them choking a girl." The whispers grew louder. "Why did they come to this newbie area of the burning plains? They're so powerful." Phi Tui and their team is the doctor of this squad. Looking at the martial artist tightening his grip on the girl, she let out a cold huff and said, "We've already scoured the burning plains. And yet we couldn't find that Jiang Kai guy, huh?" The ranks of the Hawk Squad are gradually being revealed: Doctor level 20, martial artist level 20, soldier level 20. Truong Hai, the one choking the girl, spoke up. "I heard you're the last person to see Jiang Kai. Hurry up and tell us where he is." The one being choked was none other than Ho Nan. She coughed a few times and struggled to say, "What do you want with him?" Another girl in the group chimed in, "That's Hong Ngan. Isn't she someone everyone knows?" Van Ti, standing beside, smirked and said, "Jiang Kai has offended the royal family. We're here on behalf of the royal family to take revenge on Ho Nan." She struggled with her hands, looking at them with disdain, and replied, "Oh, really, that Jiang Kai went to the King's Valley? You all should go there and find him." Hearing her say that, Truong Hai immediately let go, causing Ho Nan to drop to the ground. He looked at her, his voice laced with intimidation. "But if you dare to trick us, just wait until we come back. You'll be dead for sure." Bystanders overheard, and one girl commented, "The Hawk Squad is the top team among the level 20 explorers of the royal family." Another person added, "If you mess with a team like this, that Jiang Kai is as good as dead." Ho Nan sat on the ground, holding a piece of the Yin-Yang 5 elements in her hand. She coughed a few times and replied to the two. "So strong, huh? For those who lack morals, even a fortune teller can't predict." Her gaze turned dark as she continued. "Just now I secretly read their fortunes a bit. When they find Jiang Kai this time, the outcome is likely to be—" Ho Nan paused, looking at the 8 monsters. A skull-shaped figure appeared. She simply said one word, "Dead." A day after the King's Valley, a day after exterminating monsters Jiang Kai. He opened his information panel and looked at it joyfully, saying, "Great, I've killed 16 black beasts, and finally leveled up to level 6. His information panel displayed Explorer Jiang Kai, Profession Gambler level 6, Strength 24, Defense 28, Critical Hit Rate 0.1%, Agility 42, Critical Damage 20,000%, Mental Power 42, Experience 85 out of 200. At this moment, Jiang Kai was standing on the corpse of a black beast, looking at the black beast card in his hand, deep in thought. "I heard the remains of a black beast can be sold for a high price, but getting it out of here is quite a hassle." His information panel displayed Adventurer Jiang Kai, Profession Gambler, Level 6 Strength Attribute, 24 Defense, 28 Critical Hit Rate, 0.1% Agility, 42. Critical Damage, 42 Damage Multiplier, 20,000% Mental Power, 42 Experience Points, 85 out of 200. At this moment, Jiang Kai was standing on the corpse of a black beast, looking at the token in his hand, deep in thought. "I've heard that the remains of a black beast can be sold for a high price, but transporting it would be quite a hassle. But somehow we still have to bring him along like this. The medicine for the big guy will be much better." Jiang Kai was still standing there thinking when a voice called out from behind him. "Does that kid over there want to join our hunting team?" Hearing this, Jiang Kai turned to see a small squad in front of him. They were also out hunting, and their leader wore a cloak that covered his entire body. "His name is Hung," one of them spoke up. "Our 3 teams are hunting the elite black beast. If we win, we'll get the essence to stop it." Hung raised his hand in a welcoming gesture toward him and asked, "Are you joining us?" Jiang Kai replied, "A hunting team, huh? But I don't have a team, I'm just going solo." Hung looked at him with a friendly gaze and continued, "No worries, we actually need someone." They took him to the top of a high mountain where he could see 4 black beasts sleeping soundly below. One guy said, "Did you see that? The elite black beast at level 15 is over there. There are 4 elite black beasts in their lair with the essence of the sun." Another guy chimed in, "But these 4 are really strong, and we only have 3 teams, so we need you to lure them out." Hung spoke up again. "Just lead one of them away. Then our 3 teams will split up to deal with the other 3. When you come back, you can receive a share of the essence." Jiang Kai heard 2 words warning Duong to be careful, saying that Duong was an elite. It said that the elite treasures in Duong contain many good things that could yield more than the bodies of the monsters, so I have to find a way to get it. His gaze turned cold, but when facing the powerful elite monsters, he had to fight in a group, yet they had caught him alone to lure one. Clearly, they didn't want him to return. This way, those 3 want to swallow Duong's treasure from all 4 teams. But now that he's on the ship, if he doesn't comply, he might not make it back. Jiang Kai forced a smile and replied, "I'm in," and the group eagerly responded to him. They cheered loudly and began to take action. "All right, let's do it that way. Everyone from the groups pay attention." They slid down the cliff, moving while responding in unison. Leading the group was Jiang Kai. The 4 black beasts noticed the commotion and woke up, seeing people attacking. They roared as a warning to each other. Hung Dat stood at a distance, calling out loudly to Jiang Kai, "Hey, little brother, hurry up and act." Jiang Kai immediately took action, responding, "Okay," and he launched an attack towards one of the black beasts to attract its attention. Instantly, the monster roared in pain and crazily chased after Jiang Kai. Hung Dat laughed loudly, pleased. "Not bad, that kid really did it," he shouted. "That'll reduce one group to share Duong." The black beasts also charged towards his shout. Now it could be one-on-one, everything was in my hands. His companions also rushed forward to fight the black beasts, which were howling wildly their attacks, causing loud, deafening explosions. Jiang Kai ran while panting, thinking this was quite a risky plan. Behind him, a black beast was relentlessly chasing its claws, reaching out to grab him. The attributes of this elite black beast were likely many times stronger than a regular one. If it were an ordinary explorer, they would definitely be dead by now. Jiang Kai suddenly stopped. He wasn't running away anymore, but turned to face the black beast. Quick as lightning, Jiang Kai unleashed a move towards the black beast, thinking, I'm not just any ordinary explorer. The black beast roared in pain as a series of powerful strikes cut into its body, causing it to bleed. Jiang Kai jumped back as the beast stood frozen motionless. A moment later, a flash of light appeared where the black beast stood, and it exploded on the spot. Jiang Kai leaped onto the body of the fallen beast as the system displayed. Eliminate the elite black beast, level 15x1. Jiang Kai smiled brightly, thinking, what a steal, I didn't expect to take down this elite black beast with just one super lethal move. He looked ahead, his face still wearing a victorious expression, thinking, now it's Duong's turn to take advantage of them, while the others were still fighting hard in the distance. Some were healing their teammates, while others surrounded the black beast, all cheering each other on, everyone just a bit more. Once we finish, we can share Duong. Hung Dat, seeing the tough battle, gritted his teeth in frustration. He didn't realize Jiang Kai had been behind him for a while. Jiang Kai struck him from behind, catching him off guard. Hung Dat barely had time to scream before collapsing. Jiang Kai quietly stepped into the cave alone, moving deeper inside, following the direction of the growing cucumber plants. He soon spotted a shiny treasure lying on the rock. Jiang Kai was overjoyed, not expecting to get in so easily. Moreover, there really was a treasure there. It looked worth every penny. Jiang Kai reached out to grab the treasure, thinking, this is great. With this luring, a level 15 elite black beast wouldn't be in vain. Suddenly, a faint sound echoed in the cave. Something had just dripped onto Jiang Kai's shoulder. That's a black creature right above you. Its eyes are wide, grinning ear to ear, drooling, and it looks incredibly scary. Jiang Kai can feel its presence, too. Your body goes stiff, sweat pouring down. The black creature jumps down, raising its fist to strike where Jiang Kai is standing. Jiang Kai quickly dodges, bewildered by what's happening in the cave. And there's still a level 20 elite black creature. Did they not investigate before the fight? How could this black creature be grinning like a horrifying monster, an elite black creature at level 20? It's particularly dangerous. After calming down, Jiang Kai realizes the situation. It's blocking the cave entrance now. Then he flies up in front of the black creature, waving his hand to attack. It looks like there's no choice but to fight. The black creature takes Jiang Kai's hit to its eye and chest, but doesn't flinch at all. Jiang Kai frowns, surprised by this black creature. It doesn't even create a wound. Even when aiming for its eye, the black creature's eyes are bright red, bulging, an elite black creature with earth elemental defense of 23 points against current attack damage. Can't penetrate its outer defense, unable to inflict damage. Jiang Kai frowns his face, showing clear worry and unease. The piercing point of his attack is only 9 points. Yet its defense is 23. Could it be that this one is like the Wolf King, needing to break through its defense to deal damage? Suddenly, the black creature leaps into the air, raising its hand high. Jiang Kai doesn't have time to react as it throws a large rock down from above. The ground erupts with a loud bang and the earth splinters into long streaks. Jiang Kai takes the hit directly. He coughs violently, injuries all over his body, struggling to open his eyes. His forehead is now soaked in blood. It hurts so much. Is this it? Am I going to die? Taking advantage of Jiang Kai's immobility, the black creature grabs him. If he dies in the demon realm, he will be punished and have to wait a month before he can log back in. It brings Jiang Kai in front of it, grinning and drooling. If it's like this, then he would directly lose the agreement to win with the commander. At this moment, Jiang Kai has no strength left. Breathing heavily, will I drag my brother and sister into this, forcing them into the military? He closes his eyes, feeling helpless, but if I'm struggling like this, then a voice echoes in Jiang Kai's empty mind. Wake up! Memories flood back. An image of someone rushing. That voice continues, wake up. Jiang Kai sees himself as a child, covered in injuries, being carried by someone, his older brother, who is holding him while running, crying amidst the smoke and gunfire. You must not sleep. You have to try to stay awake. His brother is panting from exhaustion. He will definitely... Jiang Kai looks at him. His brother is also covered in wounds. The sky is a terrifying red. The monsters roar incessantly. The scene is hauntingly desolate. His brother screams through tears that he will get them out of this battlefield. This is 15 years ago on the battlefield of the Beast God. His mind goes dark once again. This time, Jiang Kai wakes up, still held by the black creature. Jiang Kai jolts awake. What? How could I fall asleep? The black creature opens its mouth wide, bringing Jiang Kai closer. He remains motionless in its grasp. His brother could save him and his sister back on the Beast God battlefield. Jiang Kai struggles to open his palm. A bright red light shoots out from his hand. How could this be? He opens his eyes wide, feeling a surge of power, red energy swirling around him. Jiang Kai murmurs, can I really do this here? The black beast swallowed you whole before you could react, grinning with delight after a hearty meal, but suddenly a beam of light shot through its eyes. Its face changed color, and before it could react, blood splattered everywhere. What was once its head was now just a mess of blood. The black beast collapsed to the ground, motionless. Jiang Kai pushed himself up, having just taken down a level 20 Earth Attribute Elite Black Beast. He silently celebrated his success. Although the exterior of this black beast had high defense, its mouth had no protection at all. He slowly lifted his hand off the ground, knowing that he just needed to attack inside its mouth. That way he could break through its defense, just like when he killed the Wolf King. Jiang Kai struggled to stand, his body covered in injuries, when suddenly he remembered something. The elite Baoyang. Jiang Kai turned to look at the shining dagger, still neatly placed on the stone, finally back in his hands. Half an hour later, the group outside had also wiped out all the black beasts, cheering, "We won." One person shouted loudly, "Thanks to that kid for leading one away. Otherwise, we would have been completely wiped out." Another chimed in, "That kid must be dead by now, right, Hung Dat Grin? If he's dead, doesn't that mean we've got an extra half?" They gathered excitedly at the cave entrance, ready to go in. Baoyang is definitely inside waiting for us. This time we hit the jackpot. Hung Dat suddenly stopped, his eyes wide in disbelief. The cave was empty now, dark and silent except for the whistling wind. The dagger was gone. Hung Dat couldn't believe his eyes and shouted in frustration, "What's going on here?" "Where's Baoyang? Why isn't the elite Baoyang here?" One guy quickly raised his hand and said, "Boss, I just remembered. Earlier during the fight, I think I saw that kid sneak into the cave." Hung Dat was shocked, glancing at him. "What? Why didn't you say that sooner?" The one who spoke was the support, hesitating. "I thought it was just an illusion because I didn't think he could survive." The others were also stunned. "What?" The rest began to panic. "Captain, doesn't that mean our fight was in vain? We've wasted so many days on this trip. You see, even if we didn't get Baoyang, you still have to pay us. You still owe me several months' wages." Hung Dat, furious, shouted, veins bulging on his forehead. "I can't believe we fell for that kid's trick!" He yelled, starting to curse uncontrollably. Somewhere, the voice of Jiang Kai echoed, "It had to be like this to escape those people." You're standing in the forest opening the electronic screen, and then a dung beetle with 3 sharp claws appears. Let's see what's inside the dung beetle. As soon as the dung beetle opened, Jiang Kai's eyes lit up. The dung beetle dazzled with blinding light, revealing countless gems and pearls, and in the center was a cloak. Jiang Kai's eyes sparkled with joy. He was incredibly excited. "This is amazing. I never expected there to be so many minerals and even equipment, too." Jiang Kai picked up the cloak from the dung beetle. The value of the minerals and equipment in this treasure is immense. It's worth 10,000 times more than the corpses of those monsters. I'm going to get rich. While handling the equipment, he suddenly noticed something mixed in with the gems, a pair of gloves with a metal circle on the back of the hand featuring a fiery sword design. There's still another piece of equipment. Jiang Kai picked it up and examined it. He put the gloves on. They were brand new. He couldn't help but wonder what kind of equipment these gloves were. Are they for attacking or something else? I have to try them on. A surge of light suddenly enveloped him after he put them on. His body felt lighter and much stronger. Could this be equipment that enhances strength and agility? Jiang Kai looked at the empty land ahead, ready to test out his skills. He clenched his fist and 3 claws shot out from the gloves. He swung his hand and the claws sped forward like the wind, suddenly igniting in flames, blazing as they continued to rush ahead. Jiang Kai furrowed his brow, pondering. Flames appeared on the throwing daggers. Could this be a type of auxiliary fire equipment for weapons? He recalled the effects of various flames on monsters in the treasure. There were many types of fire, and special fire could cause different types of wounds during battle. He remembered the image of a monster being attacked. Moreover, ordinary fire had very low damage and couldn't be used in combat. It could only be used for cooking. The monster in his mind mocked the ordinary fire. "Are you scratching my back?" Jiang Kai raised his hand, his face contorted in displeasure. "Is this thing only going to be used for grilling meat?" Suddenly a scream pierced the air, cutting through his thoughts. What was that sound? Then came the thud of a black stone hand hitting the ground, followed by a series of rumbling sounds rushing towards Jiang Kai. The system alarmed, "Monster Alert, Elite Earth Elemental Blackstone X4. Level 18, particularly dangerous." Jiang Kai was facing 4 elite black stones with Earth attributes. Jiang Kai jumped back, cursing under his breath. "This isn't good. I just tested the gloves." He charged forward with his claws. He had barely dealt with one earlier and almost got killed. And now there are 4 of them. The claws rushed forward this time, burning even more fiercely than before. Jiang Kai aimed for the mouth of one that was gaping wide. He could only focus on attacking their mouths, just like he did with the one he killed earlier. But before the 3 claws could reach the mouth, the black stone bit them off, unable to break through. The defensive damage was ineffective. Jiang Kai glared, realizing he was in trouble. 4 black beasts immediately charged toward Jiang Kai. He turned and ran for his life. How did these creatures manage to keep their mouths shut to avoid the blows? They roared furiously, chasing him relentlessly. Even if they opened their mouths, his weapon wouldn't be enough to take down all 4 of them. Jiang Kai feared that today might be the day he met his end. Just then, flames erupted from his claws, igniting one of the black beasts. The others were similarly affected, each flame reducing their health by 10 points. Jiang Kai was a bit surprised. He glanced at them, wondering why the flames weren't extinguished. The fire spread rapidly across the black beasts, igniting them due to their fur. The lead black beast's eyes suddenly widened in shock as the flames roared fiercely. In the next moment, the fire completely engulfed it, and the system displayed a loss of 2,000 health points amidst the flames. It was the sound of the black beast's screams, its eyes bulging as it realized it couldn't escape the sea of flames, only able to roar in pain as the fire grew larger. The black beast collapsed completely, and the system repeatedly notified a loss of 2,000 health points. The other black beasts stood frozen, not daring to advance. Jiang Kai ran while glancing back. He was just as stunned. What was this massive fire? The embers from the large fire were carried by the wind toward the other black beasts, and the remaining 3 quickly caught fire, engulfed in flames. The 4 fires converged, creating a terrifying scene. Jiang Kai stopped running and knelt on one knee, observing the black beasts. Why did the flames suddenly start to die down? The image of the black beast lying on the ground appeared, and Jiang Kai was shocked. They were all dead. The system displayed a message. Eliminated 4 elite black beasts of the earth element. Jiang Kai stood still, realizing that he had seen the flames cause damage. How did it go from 10 to 2,000 collecting the bodies of the 4 elite black beasts of the earth element? He couldn't help but wonder why it wasn't just double. Jiang Kai looked down at his shiny gloves, raising both hands, feeling both puzzled and delighted. Could it be that these gloves unleashed the flames, allowing him to deal critical damage of 200 to his own attacks? Moreover, this type of fire spread to the entire group as well. He recalled the image of the black beast catching fire, gradually realizing that the power of ordinary fire was quite small. However, if a monster had no fire resistance, the damage would penetrate its defenses. Quietly, Jiang Kai raised his hand. He was floating in a sea of flames, and if it burned 2,000 health points every second, it would directly turn into a firestorm. This kind of equipment was truly a divine artifact for dealing damage. He smirked, a confident smile on his face. Now he didn't have to worry about penetrating defenses anymore. Then he could imagine the forest engulfed in flames, and throughout the night, the black beasts in the King's Valley were met with explosions and the screams of the black beasts. Witnessing the darkest moments of their lives, each black beast was eliminated. They had never seen anyone roast them like this. Just with ordinary flames under the bright moonlight, the black beasts fled in terror from the sea of flames, while Jiang Kai's voice remained calm and none of them saw anything attached. Blood spilled over the fallen black beasts lying motionless on the ground, as the master of roasting meat would spare no one. Jiang Kai walked through the sea of flames, his arms wide open, and the fire continued to pour out from him. He laughed loudly. In 10 miles, no treasures will escape. On the second day in the King's Valley, the ground still smoldered with patches of grass completely scorched, leaving only rolling hills. Jiang Kai's wounds had healed, and he felt great. He looked at the electronic board and happily said, "In just one night, I took down over 10 black beasts. Finally, I've leveled up." The display screen shows the explorer Jiang Kai, a level 7 gambler with a strength attribute of 28, an invulnerable defense of 32, a critical hit rate of 0.1%, and agility. 48 critical damage, 20,000% spirit power, 48 experience points, 85 out of 6,400. Jiang Kai admires the claw in his hand, which resembles a hunting tool. Currently, the fire damage from the gloves is unbeatable within level 20 for area damage. Jiang Kai looks up at the screen, which now displays a series of images of the black stones along with several beds. Moreover, we also have 10 elite treasure chests and a pile of black stone corpses. It can definitely be sold for a lot of money. He suddenly ponders for a moment, his face filled with longing. Jiang Kai stands alone in the vast windy meadow. Playing alone in the cursed realm feels a bit lonely. I really miss the days of fighting alongside No Unknown. He worries not knowing what is happening to them right now, but they have an army backing them up. He pauses, his voice tinged with loneliness, wondering how they could be doing better than him. Somewhere in the King's Valley, the Blackstone Guardian with a frustrated expression shouts, "Why is there nothing here who killed all the black stones in the King's Valley?" He buries his face in the ground, crying for several days in the King's Valley. Yet he hasn't encountered a single black stone. How can he keep rolling around like this? No Unknown sighs, recalling when Jiang Kai took them to hunt monsters. It was so much better. A voice rings out behind them belonging to the Guardian and 2. No Unknown don't say such sad things. It's the player Li Bill, a level 38 cavalryman. He stands with his hands on his hips, speaking sternly. "Why can you encounter monsters right from the start?" "It's because you're in the beginner's testing area. With your current levels, you're still newbies, so this is a high-level monster area." Li Bill raises his voice. "If Jiang Kai brings you to the King's Valley, it might end up being a disaster. That's why I took the time to bring you two here for an experience, not to hear complaints." Now go on, keep looking for those black stones. The Guardian and No Unknown stand at attention, fists clenched in front of their chests. That's the spirit. As Li Bil walks away, they silently cry inside, but I still remember Jiang Kai. 3 days later, the group of Truong Hai stands before the corpses of many black monkeys. He speaks up. It's strange that I've been in the King's Valley for several days, yet I can only find these ordinary black monkeys. He plants his sword in the ground, grinning victoriously, just a few common black stones. For us, that's as easy as pie. The guy Van Tui next to him gives a thumbs up and laughs loudly. Young Master Huang Vi told us to go kill Jiang Kai. It's like using a knife to slaughter a chicken. Suddenly, a voice booms from behind them. Killing one monster is just like that. Truong Hai jumps, frowning as he glances back. Tuan Giat, chewing coldly, says, A few days ago, we saw a great player take down 3 black stones in one go. The atmosphere is tense. Indeed, that scene was terrifying. Truong Hai isn't surprised. Instead, he shows disdain. Is it really that impressive to kill 3? Is that considered a big deal for you? Tuan Giat sits on this cliff, clicking his tongue, eyes closed, enjoying himself, not caring about them. Truong Hai raises his hand and the electronic board displays an image of Jiang Kai walking away. May I ask? Tuan sat on the cliff, clicking his tongue with his eyes closed, enjoying the moment, indifferent to them. Truong Hai raised his hand and the electronic board displayed a picture of Jiang Kai leaving. Let me ask you something. Have you all ever met this person before? Tuan glanced over and immediately recognized the person in the photo. What a coincidence. That's the big shot I mentioned who took out those 3 black beasts. Khan's eyes lit up when he saw Jiang Kai's super handsome Luang Quang raised his voice and questioned, Are you all blind or what? Take a good look. This guy is just a level 5 newbie. Truong Hai grinned mischievously. Right, don't be jealous of us. You guys are just talking nonsense. Tuan tossed the core of the fruit he just ate onto the ground and turned to leave. If you don't believe me, go find this big shot yourself. We just saw him leave that royal cave. I still need to greet that old man. Hearing this, Truong Hai smiled wickedly. What do you mean, are you saying Jiang Kai is nearby? He pulled the sword he had stuck in the ground earlier out, and all 5 of them moved forward, their eyes filled with rage. Luang Quang spoke up. I've been wandering in this dump for days now. It's time to give young Master Huang Vi an explanation. Truong Hai kept that wicked smile, thinking they could finally take out that kid. Can looked exasperated. It seems they want to settle the score with the big shot. Nuok also wore a face of frustration and helplessness, the aura of the big shot resembling a sage wanting to escape the mundane boasting of these people, often regarded as a bullet shield in those comic books. Tuan agreed. Exactly. At the exit of the royal cave, there were many people gathered. One dissatisfied person spoke up, What a bummer this trip to the royal cave. We didn't even encounter a single black beast. A guy with a scar on his mouth chimed in, I heard there was a forest fire that killed them all, so we have to wait a bit longer before we can go in. The bald guy behind agreed, right, everyone has to wait and no one has to worry about being wiped out. At that moment, the culprit who had been eliminating them passed by. It was Jiang Kai who was happily walking while looking at his electronic screen. I took 3 days to wipe out all those black beasts to reach level 10, and I even earned 19 elite treasures. First, I should head back to the Holy City to sell for some cash. His screen displayed Adventurer Jiang Kai Profession Gambler level 10 strength attribute. 40, defense 44, toughness 0.1%, critical hit rate 66, agility 20,000% critical damage. 66 mental power, 332 experience points out of 12,800. A voice shouted loudly, calling his name. Jiang Kai, stop right there! Jiang Kai was a bit surprised and glanced back to see who it was. It was Truong Hai's group. They had caught up, and Truong Hai pointed at Jiang Kai, boasting, You've been hiding for so long, making it really hard for us to find you. The crowd around them chimed in. Isn't that the Royal Falcon Squad of the Huyen Vu Guild? What is this kid doing to provoke an elite team like this? Jiang Kai coldly replied, Royal, which Huyen Vu Guild are you from? Did the Royal Faction send you to find me? Jiang Kai coldly replied, Royal Family, which Martial Arts Association are you from? Did the Royal Family send you to find me? Truong Hai slowly drew his sword, still wearing a sly expression, as if to say, Have you forgotten who you offended during the rookie trial? How dare you, a lowly one, provoke the young Master Huang Vi? The other 3 also drew their weapons ready for battle. We're here to take your life. It's come to this. Jiang Kai wouldn't back down, ready to fight. He bowed his head, focusing his strength. After all, it was Huang Vi who attacked first. I'm just defending myself. Are you sure you want to take action against me? Truong Hai rushed forward, not caring who among them was right or wrong. Hong Nan charged in too with a wicked look on his face. Do you know that if I kill you, Huang Vi, Young Master, how much will you give us? Jiang Kai extended his fiery claws, responding in a deep voice, Is that so? If you all can't tell right from wrong for the sake of profit, then I'll unleash my attack on you. The blazing strike flew through the air like lightning. Jiang Kai's voice rang out. Then I won't hold back. The attack swept past Truong Hai's group, neatly dodging them. Each of them only caught a bit of fire, the system displaying a loss of 10 health for each. Truong Hai remained arrogant, which was quite laughable. Not even a scratch is this tiny spark really your skill. Hong Ngan laughed loudly. Now I seriously doubt how the young master could be killed by a useless person like you. The crowd began to comment and mock, so Jiang Kai is just an ordinary flame. A move with such low damage is truly embarrassing. I thought it was really powerful. Isn't this just lighting a cigarette for someone else? Jiang Kai maintained his confident demeanor, slightly smirking. How ridiculous. The damage from my flame may be small now, but what if I can make this fire? 'Cause a bit more damage! Truong Hai looked down at his armor, which had caught fire. He was stunned, and in the next moment the flames erupted violently, engulfing him completely. He screamed in agony. The other three were also taken aback, sweating profusely, their faces filled with fear as they shouted, "Captain Truong Hai!" Truong Hai cried out in despair, just like a black gem losing its vitality. He was losing 2,000 health continuously. What is happening? How could the damage from an ordinary flame be this high? His companions outside began to catch fire as well, panicking and terrified. They too were consumed by the flames like Truong Hai. The whole group screamed in desperation and pain, yelling to escape, but there was no way out. Why do I feel the same? The fire was growing larger, roaring fiercely, and soon they were nowhere to be seen, the sky glowing red. The system announced, Explorer Jiang Kai has eliminated the Eagle Squad and can claim the experience points from the MANHWA team. The onlookers stared in shock. What is going on here? Truong Hai collapsed in the flames as Jiang Kai approached the fire, slowly dying down. If you all wanted to rush to offer your heads to me, he smiled down at Truong Hai, who had been so arrogant but now lay defeated at his feet. Then I shall graciously accept this tribute. If you all are so eager to offer your heads, he said with a smile, looking down at Truong Hai, who had been so arrogant but now lay defeated at his feet, then I'll graciously accept this filial piety. The people around immediately started panicking, wondering what the hell was going on. That kid managed to take out an entire squad of Hawks. This is the elite level 20 team we're talking about. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would have thought it was all staged, burning an entire team with regular fire. They were so shocked that they couldn't stop cursing, wondering what kind of character this kid really was. Jiang Kai remained calm as he retrieved the spear he had thrown earlier, starting to absorb the experience from one of them while searching for information about Jiang Kai on his device, wondering why his watch couldn't assess him. His attributes, level 12 attributes exceeding the assessment limit evaluation, failed. The others were stunned. No way, how is that even possible? The guy searching for information widened his eyes, sweat pouring down his forehead. I know now, he stammered. Could he be the fire god? Is he hiding behind some props? And no way. How could outsiders not be able to probe him? Are the others also fire mages? Exactly, it must be. He's the fire god Jiang Kai. And at that moment, he was still calm, feeling great about leveling up twice. Adventurer Jiang Kai, gambler profession level 12, attribute strength 48, physique 52, agility 78, mental power 78, defense with no critical hit ratio. No critical damage. 20,000% damage, 1,716 out of 12,800 experience. He looked up and softly asked, "Eyebrain, by the way, why can't they see my attributes?" Eyebrain looked at him, her gentle voice ringing out, "Because your dual talent as a gambler has too many supplementary attributes, making your attributes vastly different from those at the same level. That's why outsiders can't assess you through their watches." Jiang Kai shot a cold glance behind him. Is that so? He turned around and walked away. Leaving the group in shock, it was better that they couldn't find out. It would reduce the chances of outsiders targeting him at the Holy Wine trading post. Jiang Kai stepped in. "Hello, I want to sell some items." The elegant trader was slumped over the table, still half asleep. "Welcome to the trading post." Jiang Kai sighed, thinking to himself, after a whole day, there's only one newcomer. Today's performance is at an all-time low. Still, he smiled. "All right, I have a lot of stuff. Please calculate how much it's worth." The trader looked up, her expression bored. "With someone as broke as you, how much could you possibly sell?" "I guess at most." Suddenly, her eyes widened in shock as a series of images of the black gems Jiang Kai had destroyed appeared before her. "Look here, I have over 10 corpses of those black gems." The trader was so shocked she stood up straight. Jiang Kai grinned, raising his hand, and a multitude of images of the gems appeared. "I also have 19 elite gems here." Jiang Kai leaned in between the pictures. "Sorry, can you still see me? I want to ask how much all of this can be sold for in total." The trader was stunned, staring at the items without blinking. "Is this guy from a hunting corporation? Others sell them one by one, but how can he sell them in bulk like this?" Then she shook her head, regaining her composure. With excitement different from before, she slapped her hand on the table. "Don't worry, I'm actually the top consumer here. Let me calculate for you today." she thought to herself, realizing he was a big shot. Even if she had to risk it all, she had to make this deal happen. With a bright smile, Jiang Kai asked her for a series of numbers displayed on the handheld computer, 180,000, while flipping through the stack of papers, unable to hide his surprise at this wealthy individual. The identification cards of your lord here can be sold for 10,000 yuan, while the elite spirit stones and the items inside can fetch 170,000 yuan. She paused to clear her throat, so in total you sold for 180,000 spirit currency. Jiang Kai's eyes lit up. He couldn't believe the enormous figure of 180,000 spirit currency. Jiang Kai thought to himself, 1,000 spirit currency equals 10 holy currency, and spirit currency is the currency of spirit stones, where 1 spirit currency can be exchanged for 10 holy currency. So the value this time amounts to 1.8 million. This amount is enough to cover his brother's medical expenses. He walked down the street with his hands in his pockets, eyes closed, enjoying the moment. The bet with the commander to take good care of his brother was now complete. I don't need to enlist anymore. This time I can return to Earth and arrange for my brother to be hospitalized, when suddenly a voice called out to him, "Wait, I'm Honan, the fortune teller from before." Jiang Kai turned around and saw Honan rushing towards him, panting. "Last time I advised you to go to the King's Valley, didn't I? You must have harvested a lot and even taken down a few rude ones, right?" Jiang Kai immediately realized, smiling, that the King's Valley had indeed helped him a lot. "Thank you so much." Honan raised a finger in front of him. "Then could you fulfill a small request of mine?" After a moment of hesitation, Jiang Kai agreed instantly. "Sure, you've helped me so much. Go ahead." Honan hesitated, her face flushed and dotted with sweat, pointing at herself with a shy smile. "It's me, Honan. I want to join your team. I hope you'll let me fight alongside you from today." Jiang Kai immediately turned away, his face unpleasant as he rejected her. Honan was surprised at how quickly he refused. "Why are you so straightforward?" Honan's eyes were filled with sadness. She sighed. "Just as I expected, a character deemed useless by the military. How could anyone—" Her voice trailed off. "Forget it. I know you're someone who likes free stuff, right? Do you want to equip what I have? It's a gift for you. After all, it's the last time I'll log into the spirit world." Jiang Kai paused, turning to look at Honan with a puzzled expression. "Last time, are you also poor? Are you planning to go offline permanently? Don't you want to keep making money in the spirit world?" Honan avoided his gaze, her voice sad but her lips still smiling. "I wish I could, but I just can't." "After all, what team would want a useless person who only knows fortune-telling in battle?" She paused, sighing. "When the military deemed that feng shui masters is a very strong profession, I sought the military's support for feng shui masters, then successfully reached level 20 and switched to being a fortune-teller." Honan explained gently. "However, the initial talent of a feng shui master is just a better ability to sense time, place, and people. After switching to being a fortune-teller, I only gained one more fortune-telling skill." She recalled the scene of herself and other fortune-tellers being escorted out by soldiers, and then the military abandoned us. After discovering that fortune-tellers had no combat skills, they discarded us because we were too weak and no one was willing to team up with us, so our levels have been stagnant ever since. I remember sitting alone at the fortune-telling stall with no one to guide me and battling monsters every day, just rolling around in the underworld trying to scrape by. If I could go back to Earth, I'd take any job, even picking up trash. The image of her carrying a heavy sack flashed in my mind. At least she would have something to eat instead of just sitting there. Hearing this, Jiang Kai felt a pang of sadness. It must have been so hard for her, and my brother's body also suffered from overwork like that. "She's just a fragile girl. How could she bear it?" In response, Honan simply smiled gently. If not, what else could she do? Honan beamed brightly, saying, "On Earth, I still have my younger siblings at home. I'm their pillar. So even if I can't take it anymore, I have to endure." Behind that smile, however, was an indescribable sadness. Her smile unexpectedly reminded Jiang Kai of his brother. "It's okay, you can handle it." Her circumstances startled him. They were so similar to his own. Jiang Kai recalled when he was little, his brother was just like this. Originally, his brother wanted to develop in the underworld, nurturing the ambition to one day defeat the beast god. He choked up, but after he took care of himself and his sister, he feared there would be no one to look after them. So he gave up the chance to go to the underworld, leading to his weakened state. Honan's voice cut through his thoughts. "Are you ready for my gear? If you are, just wait there. I'll go get it for you. After all, this is before I return to the real world and never come back here again. Goodbye." Jiang Kai called out, "Wait, let's do it next time." Honan was a bit surprised. Jiang Kai turned to her before leaving, looking serious. "I'm Jiang Kai. It's time to log off now, but it won't be long. Next time I'm online, you can find me and we'll form a team." Honan blushed, feeling emotional, so happy that her legs trembled uncontrollably, her voice stuttering. "Really?" Jiang Kai turned to leave, waving goodbye. I mean it. If I lied to you, I'll never have money again. Honan wiped her tears, her voice trembling with emotion. A stingy person like you only cares about money. If you dare to say this, it must be true. She ran up and hugged Jiang Kai from behind, shouting, "Thank you, you're such a good person." Jiang Kai was caught off guard by Honan's hug and choked on his saliva. How can you live like this? Honan didn't care about Jiang Kai pushing her away. She wanted to hug him again. Back on Earth, in the slum where Jiang Kai lived, he arrived home and shouted, "Big brother, little brother, from today, you two don't have to work anymore. I've earned money." The three of them sat around a round table. Jiang Kai crossed his arms confidently. His big brother looked a bit surprised. "Really, where did you earn it? Is it legal?" Jiang Kai glanced at the little girl. "What are you talking about? I earned it in the underworld. Tomorrow I'll arrange for Big Brother to go for surgery and I'll go back to school." His big brother felt a bit reluctant. "Little Jiang Kai, you've worked hard for me during this time." Jiang Kai scratched his head, feeling embarrassed. "Compared to how hard you've worked to take care of us, this is nothing." Jiang Kai looked at the photo of the three of them happy together. In a deep voice, he said, "Big brother, don't worry. You've always been the hard worker, but now I have the ability. I will definitely ensure everyone lives a good life." All three of them joyfully raised their glasses in a toast, united in their love for our family. While Jiang Kai was drinking, he heard the phone ring. He glanced at the screen and saw an unknown number calling. When he answered, it was the voice of Commander Wei, who was standing in the midst of the battlefield. "Jiang Kai, you won the bet. Do you have time now?" His voice was deep. "In a bit, I'll send someone to pick you up to check out the gear. Make sure to come over." Jiang Kai immediately recognized it was Commander Wei. After a while, he arrived at the battlefield in the Beast God area outside the safe zone of the Holy Kingdom, a place where skyscrapers lay in ruins. A voice echoed, "It's right here." Jiang Kai was led by two soldiers. He looked around at the city where he had lived as a child, now transformed into this. Suddenly, the leading soldier stopped. Jiang Kai looked up to see a white-haired man, his cloak billowing in the wind. "Commander, I wonder why you called me here." A furious roar shook the ground. Jiang Kai gasped in shock at the loud noise as the burning buildings in front of him collapsed. Amidst the flames, a gigantic monster appeared with three figures on its back, soaring through the air as they battled the Black Beast. Jiang Kai was stunned. Was that a superhuman on the Beast God battlefield? He was amazed by the sight before him. Currently, level 20 was a turning point for demon hunters divided into 6 stages. Among them, although there were adventurers from level 1 to 80 who could become stronger after changing their professions, their powers could only be used on demon crystals. Just then, the three in front began to act. But for superhumans, it was different. When adventurers reached levels 81 to 120 to become superhumans, a qualitative change was necessary. The three of them charged forward with their weapons against the roaring monster. The Black Beast didn't let them attack first. It raised its head and opened its mouth. A beam of light appeared, preparing to unleash its attack. Jiang Kai's voice remained steady at that moment. The power that could only be used on demon crystals was quickly shielded by the lead man, completely blocking its attack. They frowned, feeling extreme tension facing the monster. The giant beast could actually be brought back to Earth. The three of them soared into the air, exerting all their strength unyielding as they charged forward to fight. The emergence of this superpower was not only a monumental change in human military history, but also a challenge for humanity today in the battle against the beast gods. Jiang Kai's voice grew more excited. This was the most effective tactic. At the same time, the three simultaneous attacks succeeded. Piercing through the monster's flesh, Jiang Kai leaped forward, joyfully shouting, "We did it!" That's incredibly strong. Commander Wei, standing beside him, remained calm as he took a deep drag from his cigarette. "You don't know, do you? This is just an ordinary beast god. But to deal with that guy," his expression was serious. "We've already lost 2 superhumans." Jiang Kai was taken aback by this statement, his eyes widening. Commander Wei continued in a low voice, Jiang Kai was taken aback by this statement, his eyes widening as he spoke in a low voice. "Jiang Kai, nowadays humanity has fallen into a very bad situation. Don't stay in the safe zone for too long and forget about this danger. This time you've won the bet. I won't force you to join the army." The thunder is rumbling in the sky. Dark clouds are gathering, and Wei Ying closes his eyes. NHA is taking a drag from his cigarette. "As for the royal family, I'll step in to remind those people not to touch you." Seeing the surprised look on Jiang Kai's face, he just smirks. "It must be very strange. Why do I value you so much, right?" Wei Ying paused for a moment, his voice firm and confident. "Because I always trust my instincts." Raindrops started to fall lightly, touching Jiang Kai's face. "You're still listening intently to every word." Wei Ying slowly continued, "My instincts tell me that you could become a powerful figure, and in the future, you might be strong enough to shake the entire divine realm. I need your help." The rain was getting heavier now. The sound of raindrops hitting the ground echoed through the space where the three of them had stood drenched in the rain at the black abyss. the sound of rain mixed with Wei Ying's low voice. But I know in this situation. You just want to protect your family. But if you join the army, you'll have to go to the battlefield, and the battlefield is indeed very dangerous. Wei Ying took another drag from his cigarette. But the world is in chaos and the 7 heroes are guilty. This world needs someone to stand up and fight against these monsters. Right, Wei Ying tossed the still-burning cigarette butt aside, his voice steady. One day I too will have to die on the battlefield, but as a person of the divine realm. He suddenly turned to look at Jiang Kai. If I can die for my country for you, then I would willingly do so. A bolt of lightning struck the ground behind Jiang Kai. You still stood there, stunned. Jiang Kai, I won't force you to choose, but if one day the divine realm faces danger, I hope you can be strong enough in that situation. Wei Ying said, then fight for the divine realm. A few days later, after Jiang Kai rested for a few days on Earth, he returned to the Demon Star. At the Demon Star, the divine realm, Jiang Kai couldn't stop thinking about Wei Ying's words. He never expected that the commander would think so highly of him. Could it be that in the future he could be the one that the divine realm needs? He raised his hand to check the time. Forget it. I should focus on myself first. The black abyss in the Royal Valley must have been cleared by now. The screen displayed the image of the ghostly female monster, an elite-level creature. Extremely high damage characteristics capable of annihilating explorers. Its attacks are also effective against physical barriers. Another line appeared, barrier break. The scream of the female monster can immobilize explorers within a 10-meter range, causing extreme fear. Only attacks from within that 10-meter range can cause damage to the female monster. Jiang Kai repeated the information on the screen to himself, staring at the female monster. It was indeed a powerful creature. Within 10 meters, it would be annihilated. Outside of 10 meters, it wouldn't take any damage. All right. He turned off the screen, closed his eyes tightly, and made up his mind. Jiang Kai, with his hands in his pockets, walked forward resolutely. This monster seems more troublesome than the Black Abyss. I need to have teammates. In the distance, Honan was dozing off, standing right in the middle of the road, still holding a sign that said, "Don't disturb me, I'm waiting for the captain." She was mumbling, "Captain, oh captain." Anyone passing by would comment, "Crazy." Jiang Kai appeared behind her. With a helpless expression, he said, "Honan, did you really wait for me here the whole time after I went offline?" Honan immediately woke up, turned around to look at him, her eyes misty and her mouth chattering non-stop. "Captain, I knew you would come back. I've been waiting for you here for a few days now." Jiang Kai smiled, I remember. Ho Huan suddenly squinted suspiciously, covering her mouth and whispering, "Captain Jiang Kai, right? So now you want to take me to hunt monsters, right? I'll help you find a really strong team. I've got someone in mind who can help us hunt monsters really well. So do you need him?" Hearing that Jiang Kai was overjoyed. "Helping with monster hunting. That's great, but he better not be a drunkard." A chubby boy immediately stood in front of the two, scratching his head and introducing himself. "Hi, I'm Nguyen Yu. I'm a bit of a drunkard," with bottles of alcohol still hanging from his belt. Jiang Kai immediately ran away, repeating each word, "I don't need him." Ho Huan forced a smile. "Captain Jiang Kai, you're being too honest." Nguyen Yu was flustered, and Ho Huan shouted loudly after Jiang Kai, who was angrily walking away. "Captain Jiang Kai, take Nguyen Yu with you. He's used to hardship and listens very well." Nguyen Yu, embarrassed, bowed his head, his fingers poking each other. Ho Huan didn't give up running after Jiang Kai. "Nguyen Yu can cook for you, massage your shoulders and feet too. He even said that as long as you take him along." Jiang Kai's face was still dark as coal, but he agreed, saying he wouldn't take any loot at all after joining. Jiang Kai's eyes widened in surprise as he rushed over to Nguyen Yu, reaching out. "Hello, Comrade Nguyen Yu, I'm Captain Jiang Kai. The moment I saw you, I knew you were talented. From now on, you are a member of our team." Jiang Kai laughed loudly, hands on his hips, fist in the air. "Today I will lead everyone to find the Spirit Queen. From today we are a family, let's go." Nguyen Yu looked confused at Ho Huan, stammering, "Captain, we are a bit—" Jiang Kai kept shouting, "We are family." Ho Huan felt helpless at his sudden change. "That's right. It's not family. It's just because you're free that the captain is like this." Before long, night fell. The bright moonlight illuminated the trees and mountains in the deep forest, revealing a shabby wooden house covered in mist. That was the lair of the elite monster, the Spirit Queen. Inside the wooden house, eerie moans echoed, and a hand full of sharp claws was casting a spell. It was the elite Spirit Queen, level 20. She was thin, wearing a tattered white dress, and a chilling scream came from the cliff as a figure appeared watching the female monster. That was Jiang Kai whispering, "Everyone, this female monster is many times stronger than the Black Pearl. If we get discovered, we'll be in big trouble. We need to keep our voices down." He kept his eyes on the female monster, whispering while observing the movements. "Moreover, we need to be careful. We can only attack within 10 meters to take her down." "Got it. So we have to be extremely careful to find an opportunity to get closer," Ho Huan said, a bit scared when suddenly a voice interrupted, echoing, "Captain." Jiang Kai shushed her softly. Ho Huan, keep it down. Ho Huan looked confused, pointing at herself. She didn't understand why Jiang Kai was reminding her. The sound still echoed along with the moans. Captain! Jiang Kai didn't turn around, whispering sharply. Ho Huan, be quiet. Ho Huan quickly waved her hands. Captain, I didn't say anything. The moaning continued, and Jiang Kai, losing patience, turned around. If it's not you, then who is making that sound? That's Nguyen Ngu, lounging on a branch surrounded by empty bottles in his hands, raising one and snoring loudly like thunder. Captain, look what I found. Nguyen Ngu, all tipsy, suddenly got excited and shouted, Thank you, buddy, I toast to you, Captain. Jiang Kai and Honan, gritting their teeth, heard the noise and quickly turned around. In no time, he soared high and spotted where the three were hiding. Jiang Kai was startled by that incredible speed, and the female demon let out a loud scream, a beam of light appearing in her mouth. Her eyes were fiery red with sharp fangs. Just one look at her sent Jiang Kai into a panic, and he shouted, Nguyen Ngu, what are you doing, Honan? Didn't you say he would be beneficial to us? Honan beside him looked pale as a ghost. I just said that casually. Jiang Kai was in shock. This is it for us. The female demon screamed loudly, shattering the air with a terrifying force that seemed ready to blow all three of them away, an invisible force striking directly at them. Jiang Kai and Honan quickly sensed the abnormality. Nguyen Ngu was still sleeping, drooling. Jiang Kai's face darkened as the system alerted them to an abnormal state. The female demon's state had transformed into something even more terrifying than before. Jiang Kai and Honan knelt motionless before her, genuinely afraid of this demoness. Yet she was so powerful, and here we were completely immobilized. Captain, we can't fight her. We might as well just wait to die. She stretched out her hand, wanting to grab both of them, when suddenly a cheerful voice rang out. Nguyen Ngu dashed towards the female demon, his face flushed tongue out. How can there be such a beauty here? How can there be such a beauty here? Excuse me, are you looking for me? He leaped down from the branch. Jiang Kai and Honan stared in shock as Nguyen Ngu embraced the female demon with a tremendous force, sending her flying back. He laughed heartily, pinning the demoness to the ground. It must be fate that brought me to this beautiful lady. Let me cherish you. Nguyen Ngu gently stroked the demoness's face, complimenting, Wow, your skin is so smooth. The demoness's eyes darkened, her mouth agape in disbelief at what had just happened. Honan moved her hand slightly. I can move again. The system displayed that the barrier had been lifted. Jiang Kai stood up abruptly. What's going on here? How did the female demon get controlled by Nguyen Ngu? Jiang Kai quickly calmed down, tightening his grip. The demoness's barrier also needed a certain cooldown time. They had to seize this opportunity to attack her. Before she unleashes her second move, he quickly threw the daggers forward, needing to resolve this swiftly. The daggers were launched accurately, quickly piercing the female demon who was ablaze. Nguyen Ngu was still sitting on her. He pouted at the female demon. Lady, let me teach you how to kiss French style. He himself didn't understand what kind of bizarre situation this was. Nguyen Ngu's kiss was about to touch the female demon. She held on tightly, unable to do anything. From now on, you are my wife. However, the flames from Jiang Kai's daggers quickly erupted fiercely. They engulfed her, and after a while, the flames died down, leaving only black smoke. Nguyen Ngu escaped from the fire, looking bewildered. Where's my wife? Jiang Kai clenched his fists, grinning. Got it. A notification popped up. Eliminated elite-level female Demon X. Honan, with sparkling eyes, said admiringly, Captain, you actually managed to slay an elite demoness. Nguyen Ngu knelt helplessly on the ground, filled with despair, his voice choked with emotion. You beasts! You made my wife explode! Nguyen Ngu looked up, tears and snot streaming down his face. She was the only love of my life, and now that she's gone, I can never love anyone else? Nguyen Ngu raised his face to the sky, lamenting for his deceased wife. Jiang Kai whispered to the lake, casually asking if Nguyen Ngu often got so drunk that he went crazy. Honan chuckled awkwardly. That's right. Nguyen Ngu is definitely a heavy drinker. He can't help but drink, and when he's drunk, he tends to babble. Then she ran towards the wooden house. Excitedly, the captain said, First, let me go get Duong's treasure and the body card of the elite female demon. Jiang Kai nodded slightly, thinking to himself, That's right, just earlier, Nguyen Ngu clearly got messed up by the female demon. He recalled Nguyen Ngu's drunken state completely out of it. But why was he not affected at all? Moreover, he could even counterattack the female demon. The image of Nguyen Ngu hugging the female demon, sending her flying backward, flashed in his mind. Still swirling in his head, Jiang Kai watched Nguyen Ngu, who was both crying and chugging down alcohol. The thing that alcoholics hate the most is losing control of their consciousness when drunk. But unexpectedly, this seemingly fatal flaw could inadvertently eliminate the female demon's interference. Jiang Kai suddenly smirked. At that moment, Honan had retrieved Duong and turned back, looking up at Jiang Kai only to see him grinning with a mischievous squint looking quite creepy. Isn't Nguyen Ngu a natural talent specifically designed to counter the female demon's interference? Honan was frightened, standing frozen in place. Why was he suddenly smiling so sinisterly? Just when everyone thought the matter was settled. In another female demon's hut, a furious female demon was growling, looking just like the previous one. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoed as she sensed someone nearby and turned around. Before they could react, Jiang Kai and Honan charged in, deciding it was time to go. "Let's go, Nguyen Ngu." Ahead of them was Nguyen Ngu, sticking out his tongue and grinning. "There's a new beauty." The female demon screamed a piercing sound, but her attack was completely useless against Nguyen Ngu. His eyes lit up. "Why is she drooling when she sees me? Is she craving my body or something?" Once again, Nguyen Ngu rushed forward, hugging the female demon, leaving her both shocked and gasping. What a coincidence, he wanted her too. Jiang Kai stood behind, ready. This skill was indeed going to be disrupted so he could get closer to attack. Nguyen Ngu pinned the female demon down, humming, "Come on, baby, meeting you makes me know love again. Let's light a little love fire tonight." Jiang Kai unleashed a series of fiery attacks towards the female demon. Confused by Nguyen Ngu's actions, the female demon's defenses were easily breached just like before, and the fire quickly flared up violently. The female demon cried out in pain as the electronic board displayed, "Adventurer Jiang Kai has eliminated the elite female demon." Nguyen Ngu, untouched by the fiery attack, was thrown into the air. With his eyes half open, Nguyen Ngu realized the situation, floating in midair, shouting, "You guys blew up my wife. I curse you, a bunch of beasts." He landed on the ground, tears streaming down his face. Jiang Kai looked at him confidently, thinking, "Perfect," while Nguyen Ngu is still dazed. "Let's quickly find another female demon." Honan agreed. In the next 3 hours, Nguyen Ngu was once again blasted into the sky by the flame, shouting, "Don't blow up my new wife, number 11. After a while, he sat dejectedly crying in front of his 23rd wife, who had also been blown up by these two beasts. Jiang Kai and Honan inside the house looked at each other, their eyes bright with excitement. And Nguyen Ngu sat there crying pitifully, reaching out to stop Jiang Kai. "Please spare my 35th wife." Another duong was taken out from the female demon's wooden house. It was shiny and heavy. Jiang Kai laughed heartily, bracing himself against the cold, never expecting to rely on Nguyen Ngu to suddenly take down 35 female elites of the king's realm. Honan held her face in disbelief, saying, "I never even dared to dream of this." Jiang Kai glanced at the electronic board, happily saying that after defeating those 35 female elites, he leveled up twice to level 14. Jiang Kai turned to Nguyen Ngu and winked, but the price to pay was just a heartbroken Nguyen Ngu. Honan calculated that Nguyen Ngu was indeed useful, and she was right. Honan smiled. "Exactly, besides, we helped Nguyen Ngu train his mental endurance after breaking up with his girlfriend." At this moment, Nguyen Ngu was crying with swollen eyes. "Training mental endurance, you two are really something." Honan gave a thumbs up in front of Nguyen Ngu. Nguyen Ngu said, "You're the one." In response, he just bluntly said, "You're a beast." Jiang Kai looked at them and raised 2 shiny cards, saying he had also collected 2 skill cards from the female elite. He could learn an additional skill. The first card had a picture of dark clouds and rain. The first skill was rain summoning, used by those with strong mental power. To create a heavy rain over a wide area, Jiang Kai imagined calling for rain to create a lake to drown and wash away the monsters when the terrain was suitable for the powerful. At higher levels, one could even create lakes and rivers from thin air. This could create miracles in actual combat. He held the card towards Honan, who was at level 29 with higher mental power than him. "This skill is for you to learn," he said, and she was a bit surprised. "Is this skill card real?" Honan's eyes were brimming with tears, her voice trembling. "Thank you, Jiang Kai. Finally, I have a skill other than divination. I'm no longer a useless person who only knows how to predict during battles." She knelt down repeatedly, bowing to Jiang Kai. "Jiang Kai, from now on, you will always be my big brother. Please accept my bow." Jiang Kai helplessly said, "Don't do that. You deserve it." Honan kept hitting her head until it swelled up before she stopped. She held the card up, admiring it joyfully. "I'm no longer useless." Jiang Kai held the other card, pondering that the remaining skill point was a one-time use for hidden professions. He looked at the information card, which revealed that this skill point, when used, could activate a supplementary skill of the hidden profession, but the supplementary skill could only be used once. After using it, it would disappear. He read it and thought to himself, "So let's activate it then." The card in his hand immediately lit up. Jiang Kai looked at the bright card in his hand. Although it was only usable once if it was a skill that only hidden professions could activate, he definitely had to try it. The card's light enveloped her, and it announced, "Congratulations, professional hidden gambler. Activate supplementary skills casino pickpocket." The image on the card was a bony hand. It controlled 2 dice magically. When the pickpocket feature in the casino was activated, all the surrounding adventurers noticed the gambler would steal a fraction of the total. The attributes of the target would be added to him, but after 30 minutes, the skills and supplementary attributes would be erased. Jiang Kai frowned in disappointment. Is that all the skill does? Eyebrain nodded slightly. Yes. Jiang Kai rubbed his head angrily. Such a precious one-time skill. And it can only steal a fraction of the total attributes of others. What good is that? At this moment, Nguyen Yu had sobered up and sat up asking, "What happened? Did I fall asleep?" His expression was confused as he placed a hand on his chest. "Why do I feel heartbroken?" Honan walked over and whispered, "The first demon you forgot last night, you lost 35 wives." Nguyen Yu suddenly remembered sticking out his tongue with a satisfied expression flying over to hug someone else. Nguyen Yu immediately felt nauseous. "I remember now. Last night after I vomited, I cried. I'm sorry, Jiang Kai, I disturbed you. I'm an alcoholic who can't resist drinking. If you're not satisfied with me..." "Can I leave the team?" Jiang Kai said nothing, handing over the jacket to Nguyen Yu. He looked at Nguyen Yu and smiled gently. "What are you talking about last night? You were the real hero." "Can I leave the team?" Jiang Kai said nothing, taking off his jacket and handing it to Nguyen Yu. He looked at Nguyen Yu, who smiled gently and said, "What are you talking about last night? You were the hero. This gear belongs to you, Nguyen." Looking up at the person in front, Jiang Kai continued, "Without you, I don't know how many times I would have been killed by that female demon. You're the backbone of this trip." Nguyen felt emotional, her face flushed with embarrassment. Jiang Kai said, "I don't need a team. I've already told you just letting me join is enough." Jiang Kai waved his hand, signaling to go. "I've also said I won't mistreat my teammates. Besides, the gear for Honan also has a part for her." Hearing that, Honan turned around, and at that moment the image of Honan appeared. In Honan's eyes, Jiang Kai was like a Prince Charming, holding a rose in his mouth, tossing money around. He gently said, "Honan, come and get your gear." Honan and Nguyen's eyes sparkled in unison. "Is this for real?" Both of them bowed their heads in front of Jiang Kai, shouting loudly, "Jiang Kai, from now on we will follow you. We live as your people, and if we die, we will be your ghosts." Jiang Kai was shocked and helpless, trying to stop them. "Why are you two?" Then the three of them arranged to return to the item trading place. A refined voice rang out, "Oh, the big shot is back again." Unlike the first time, she welcomed Jiang Kai with great enthusiasm. It was truly astonishing that today the total sale price of the monsters and your treasures has reached 840,000 demon crystals. Jiang Kai was overjoyed. "That's great! So that's equivalent to 8.4 million holy wine coins, right? With this, the living expenses for you and your brother are completely covered." What else? Jiang Kai walked into the dressing room of the trading place, pondering. Now, not only did he have enough money for living expenses after selling the loot, but he also had 2 pieces of gear that suited him. He immediately changed into a new outfit, one being dark long pants. Accompanied by a dark cloak, it had the effect of stealth without being detected. The dark long pants were of high quality, increasing agility by 11 points. Strength improved by 6 points, defense by 3 points, and could enter a state of invisibility for 3 minutes at night. Jiang Kai donned a high-collared short coat that reached his waist. The second item was a ghostly armor that could become intangible at crucial moments, and was used to avoid lethal attacks. The ghostly armor was of quality grade A. It increased agility by 24 points, strength by 8 points, physicality by 9 points, and mental strength by 14 points. Every 10 minutes it could activate intangibility, making one immune to a physical attack. Jiang Kai raised his hand, examining it closely. The effect of the gloves had been tested already. The flames from these gloves. Indeed, they could be stacked onto his critical wounds. Simply put, this was his divine weapon. The burning gloves were of high quality, enhancing agility by 7 points, strength by 6 points, allowing weapons to carry normal flames and effects over a range. With flames, the fire would accompany the user's weapon, potentially exploding the damage points and critical damage of the weapon. Jiang Kai confidently stepped outside, pulling aside the curtain. "Now I feel much stronger than before. Currently, even if I fight against level 20 or higher adventurers, I step outside with a confident aura." The information board displayed the adventurer. Jiang Kai, profession gambler. Level 14 attribute strength. 76 defense 3, physicality 69, critical hit rate 0.1%, agility 132, critical damage 20,000%, mental power 104. Jiang Kai clenched his fists, still confident of victory. From a distance, Nguyen ran over carrying a piece of wood on his shoulder, raising his left hand high. "Captain, are you here? I've helped you improve your tracking a bit." "I helped you improve your tracking a bit." Jiang Kai turned around. "Nguyen Gu, what are you doing?" While running and panting heavily, he couldn't catch his breath to explain before throwing his spear straight ahead. "Let me show you the results first." Jiang Kai raised both hands in front, panicking. "Nguyen Gu, what are you doing?" "You still hold a grudge because I burned your 35 wives, don't you?" Trui men rushed right in front of Jiang Kai just a few centimeters from his eyes, and Nguyen Ngu threw a piece of wood up high, shouting, "Come back here." Troi men immediately turned and dashed back toward Nguyen Ngu. The piece of wood above him split in two as Nguyen Ngu raised his hands high to catch Troi men, who was speeding toward him. Nguyen Ngu extended his hands toward Troi men, saying softly, "Hey, Jiang Kai, I noticed you often have to pick up Troi men's weapons in battles, which is quite troublesome, so I helped you add a bit of magnet stone." Troi men kindly explained, "Now when you throw it, you just need to use the magnet stone to pull Troi men back." Jiang Kai immediately became excited. "Really? So I don't have to worry about how many Troi men's I have left anymore, right?" Nguyen Ngu continued. "Moreover, while being pulled back, Troi men can also cause damage. It can harm the objects when they come flying back." Jiang Kai patted Nguyen Ngu on the shoulder, praising him. "I didn't expect you to be such a genius at upgrading equipment." Nguyen Ngu rubbed his hands together, feeling shy. "I learned it all by myself." "Am I really that impressive?" Team leader Jiang Kai raised 3 fingers, swearing, "I swear to God." Suddenly, a lightning bolt struck down from the clear sky right behind Jiang Kai. The sunny day abruptly turned into a sudden downpour, and the sky turned gray, completely different from a minute ago. Jiang Kai broke out in a sweat, stammering, "What's going on?" Nguyen Ngu was also confused. "Team leader, are you kidding me?" From afar, Honan was skipping and dancing in the rain. "Team leader, it's me. I just learned a basic rain-calling technique. Although it doesn't have much effect, right?" Nguyen Ngu sighed in relief, realizing it was Honan. Jiang Kai reassured her. "How could Honan's skills be useless? Look at these people hiding from the rain. It's because of you. You reach out to catch the rain. If you can make it rain harder, it will seriously hinder the enemy's movement." Jiang Kai watched the people rushing to find shelter from the rain, some even tripping, and seriously told Honan, "Then the enemy could become my living target. After that, I can kill anyone I want." Hearing this, Honan became more confident, laughing. "Really? So I can actually be useful like this? Then I must practice this rain-calling technique diligently." Jiang Kai nodded. "You can do it?" He looked into the distance, smiling reassuringly. Now, Nguyen Ngu and the team could charge into battle, and Honan had the ability to call the rain, too. "Not just me, but the whole team has become much stronger. Not just you, but the whole team has become much stronger." 3 people walked past them, one of them cursing about what the hell this torrential rain was. "All the gear we brought to the ice island is completely soaked. What if the royal family blames us for being late?" Jiang Kai, hearing the words royal family, suddenly snapped to attention. "Royal family? Wait a minute, brothers. May I ask which royal family you're talking about?" Nguyen Yu pulled out an umbrella and handed it to Honan. "Here you go." Jiang Du looked at him like he was some kind of strange creature. "Haven't you been online?" The guy next to him, named Van Hao, chuckled and said, "The royal Huyen Vu will bring 200,000 people to the ice island to hunt the king-level boss. If we defeat this boss, it could help the country expand its territory on the demon planet," Hao added. "So besides the royal family, there will be many other explorers coming to help drive away the monsters." They continued, "This is a responsibility related to the rise and fall of the world. How could you not know such important news?" After hearing this, Jiang Kai felt a bit overwhelmed. Once they finished talking, they quickly turned and left. "Let's go, don't just stand there like a fool. If we're late, we might get punished." Jiang Kai stood there deep in thought. The royal family is hunting bosses for the country. Could it be that the royal way is involved in this? Jiang Kai lowered his head, his expression serious. "Right now, the divine beasts are causing chaos on Earth, and each country can only seek resources on the demon planet to fight back against the divine beasts." He thought about the 5 important resources, secret realms, equipment, or energy materials, but the resources on the demon planet are already occupied by bosses. Only by defeating the bosses can the country dominate the land and gather resources. His face grew serious, and his voice became more grave. "The monsters on the demon planet are also ranked from low to high, common, elite, warlord, and overlord. The king-level boss, the guardian boss, a scene of tens of thousands of people fighting flashed in his mind. To fight the king-level boss, they would need to concentrate at least 100,000 people. A battle against a terrifying monster. They are all fighting fiercely against a single beast, yet the royal family can command the Huyen Vu Guild to contribute to the country." The figure of Wei appeared in his mind. The guy wielding a sword in battle. Jiang Kai fell silent, wondering if Wei had turned over a new leaf and become a commander who cares about the people in the world. He recalled the words of Wei Ying from before, but the matter of the rise and fall of the world. 7 husbands also have responsibilities. Someone in this world must stand up and fight against those monsters. Jiang Kai clenched his fists, looking down at himself through the water's surface. "If Wei can do this, then, should I also go to the ice island to contribute to the country?" Here on the demon planet, the ice island's night sky is dazzling with stars. Below is a thick snowstorm, along with mountains covered in snow. The three of them, Jiang Kai's group, are trudging through the snowstorm, and Honan's voice trembles from the cold. "Captain, we said we're going to the ice island, so let's go." Below them was a thick blizzard with mountains covered in snow. The three of Jiang Kai's group trudged through the snowstorm, their voices trembling from the cold. "Captain, the ice island, let's go." "Aren't you going to buy clothes and shoes?" All three hugged themselves tightly, shivering. Jiang Kai's face was pale, his nose running. "I didn't expect it to be this cold here," he shouted. Jiang Kai looked up and saw three figures on the cliff, a group from some team. "Don't you know you're not supposed to walk on the ice before the battle?" Jiang Kai, feeling a bit flustered, replied, "This is our first time here too. May I ask why we can't walk?" The leader named Wang Quang crossed his arms and said loudly, "Why are you new recruits? Where did you come from?" "As we know, below the ice island is the lair of the monsters," he continued, his voice rising. "You're walking on the ice like that, and the ice beneath Jiang Kai's feet has started to crack." Wang Quang added, "I wonder if we'll disturb the wandering fish people down there." Just as he finished speaking, a fish person jumped up from the ice wielding a spear. Jiang Kai's group was startled and fell over. That was a level 22 fish person monster grinning menacingly. Jiang Kai grabbed Nguyen Ngu's collar to support him. "That's the fish person, right?" he continued. Standing next to Wang Quang is Hu Luke, laughing. "They really are three fools," Wang Quang shouted down. "To deal with a level 22 fish person, our team needs to be at least level 20. He continued, speaking loudly for Jiang Kai to hear. "As we know, fish people are very good at close combat. Once caught by a fish person, especially a level 22-1, you're in a deadly situation." The fish person brandished its trident, thrusting it forcefully toward Jiang Kai. Wang Quang was still talking, and it was certain they would fall into a deadly predicament. Jiang Kai suddenly stood in front.